Yes, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Spurs Unleashed Part 2. Joined, as always, by Perchy, who runs the channel with me, so I won't give him too much airtime, but big up, Perchy, you well?
Yeah, good, mate.
Good. Stel and Will are here from Tottenham Away. I've got a feeling they might have a few things to say after the other night. How are you, gentlemen? Are you well?
Doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
Stel, you all right? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I am getting a little bit frustrated with non-Spurs content creators. Not so much the Spurs, but I'm sure we will discuss. I'm sure we'll get into it.
I'm sure we will. We've got some nice things to discuss. And as always, Has from Southview Coys representing those three legends. How are you, mate? You good?
I'm good, thanks. It's great to be on the show with you guys and also the chat as well. It's gonna be a good one tonight, you know.
It's gonna be a good show.
What a week it's been so far. I mean, after that result, but look, let's get straight into it, man.
We'll get into it. Before we do, just in case anyone wants to know, Clement Longlay's just had a goal disallowed. Just thought I'd just put that out there. He's just had a goal disallowed for Aston Villa in the Europa League. I thought it was worth mentioning. Big up to everyone in the chat. You know the rules. Smash the like button on your way in. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Subscribe to Tottenham Away. Subscribe to Southview Coys. And make sure you smash that like button. And before we've even started the show, big up Daniel Montandon. Always a massive supporter of the channel. I said, big up, amazing panel. Looking forward to Spurs Unleashed as always. Big up, Daniel, and I hope your Doncaster Rovers team are flying up that table. Big up to you, and welcome to absolutely everybody in the chat. This is the show. This is the show where we have 15 minutes to debate every topic. We have 5 topics, and if it's all right, gentlemen, we'll go straight into topic number 1. Who shall I start with? Where do I start with this? I'll come to you, Stel, to start this one. The first 15 minutes we're going to talk about is the first half meltdown. Now, before we get into high lines, before we get into second halves and losing the game, Spurs were well in control for the first 20 minutes at least. And then everything just went, I don't like this word, but I do. Everything went very Spursy. We forgot how to pass. We couldn't tackle. We were making silly fouls, giving the ball away. It just there was a complete meltdown in the second half of the first half. What happened still?
Yeah, so like you said, we got off to a good start. In fact, I'd say the best start we've had under Ange. That the first 15 minutes were electric at White Hart Lane. The football we were playing, I've never ever sat on my edge of my seat and shouted the words "Brilliant football, Tottenham! Brilliant!" so many times. I kept saying it in the stadium. I couldn't believe how well we were playing. And I think, look, Chelsea were going to get into the game at some point. And I think that Son's goal that was disallowed, which, by the way, I know it's controversial, all these decisions, but I think that was the only VAR thing they got wrong. That and maybe the Reece James elbow, but everything else I thought they got right on the day. But I think if that Sonny goal goes in at 2-0, the energy in that stadium would have just blown Chelsea away, let alone the performance of Spurs. So that kind of woke Chelsea up a bit to say, look, if we don't get our act together, Spurs are going to blitz us. And then I think Udogie's tackle, which some people say was a red card, not a yellow, I think that wound up Chelsea. It's a bit like when Kai Havertz put that ridiculous challenge in St. James's Park. It just energized Newcastle. And in the end, that galvanized Chelsea. Chelsea got into the game, and then there was a 10-minute period, 15-minute period where we had to sustain their pressure and their play. They had a couple of goals offside. They had a shot from the edge of the box. And in that moment of trying to contain Chelsea when they had their good patch, we shot ourselves in the foot. We got a red card. And then from that moment onwards, it was all downhill. So I think if Son had scored that goal, well, if it was given the goal, or if Udogie didn't put in that really reckless challenge in where he looked, I don't know if the tide would have swung that quickly, but it was beginning to swing off of those decisions. So I think that's what turned the game.
Yeah, I mean, Will, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we've done this a couple of times lately, where we've started quite fast. Luton Town, Fulham, we did it against Chelsea. And And then we always seem to kind of lose our way after that first 15, 20. I'm not saying we don't always get it back, but I just felt that we were in cruise control. And then our players, were they too hyped up? Were they too amped up for the occasion? What do you make it? What do you put it down to that first half?
We started off really well, and I think in the first 10 minutes, Chelsea didn't have an answer, right? They tried to play football at the start. Then around the 10-minute mark, for me, I saw that Chelsea were really starting to put in some heavy challenges that I thought should have been at least given as a foul, and I think were justified yellows. But the referee just wasn't giving it. You had the one on Son, you had the one on Romero that caused him to kick out. You had a bunch of different of those types of challenges that the referee was just not allowing, because Chelsea couldn't stop us playing football. They just started knocking people down. And I think that frustrated some guys. And so I think they kind of had it in their head that, all right, now if the ref isn't going to call anything, we're going to get some licks in too. That went the wrong way because the referee immediately just started giving everything our way. And that's when things kind of got shaky. I thought that we played as a team really, really well, but I thought Pedro Porro, even from the very beginning, was a bit sloppy with some of his passes, especially his back passes. And I think that put stress that we didn't need to be in when there could have been easier and simpler solutions. I didn't think it was necessarily his defending that was horrible in the first pass or in the first half, but it was his on the ball play, playing the ball back, passing or trying to switch play. He was not being very clinical. Even just his body language was very just kind of nonchalant about it. And I don't like that. Like I call them, hospital passes where the pace is just soft enough that it puts whoever you're passing it to into getting absolutely clattered as soon as the ball reaches them, if it reaches them. Or I call them froofy passes too.
I know what you mean. He gave
chin. Yeah.
I think that the difficulty as well is because Pedro Porro and Udogie, their game is to come in now under Ange's system, is when they are giving the ball away, they're not giving it out wide, and they're not giving it away out wide. And I think what happened in the first half, he gave it away a couple of really bad times in the middle of the park, and they were in. So I agree with you. I was not impressed with Porro at all. But the tackles from Udogie that kind of set this all going, Will. Was there a need for it? Is this just a case of youthfulness and the occasion, or is that just how we're going to play now? Is it always going to be?
I've refereed before, and I'm a very literal person, so I take the laws of the game to the letter literally. So unless there's a player within playing distance of the ball, it's not considered a challenge. I mean, you can slide 2-footed with your studs, a foot off the ground if there's no player next to you, right? Otherwise, every time somebody slides into the corner flag, they should be given a red card, right? It's only a red if there's a player within playing distance of the ball. And at the time the Udogie initiates, because it's not offsides. And when you initiate a challenge, it's not about when you make contact with the ball, it's when you start the slide. And at the point where Udogie starts that slide, Sterling is, 2 yards off the ball. So it can't be given as a straight red there, because Udogie's not responsible once he initiates that challenge for Sterling running into the path of him sliding already, right? That's why that's given as a yellow, because it's careless. It's not endangering or excessive force, reckless, because the player isn't there when he initiates it. So I think yellow there is fine. Should he be doing it? That's a different question. That's a question for the coaching staff, whether they think it's all right to go in, both feet forward. I don't think it's what players don't realize, unless you're within a yard of the ball, going to ground actually slows you down. It doesn't speed you up. You're faster on your feet than you are sliding on the ground. It's just simple physics, right? Friction. But so it's silly to do. Second one for me on Udogie as well is absolutely a second yellow card. No need to even make the tackle in the first place. The Romero kicking out one again. Yes, by the letter of the law, if the referee wanted to, he could have, but only if he feels like the kicking out endangered the safety of another player. And I don't think a little tap on the calf is necessarily endangerment. So
Will, that's topic number 2. Don't worry, we'll get to Christian Romero. We'll get to Christian Romero. But look, yeah, listen, I agree with everything you said there. I mean, Has, yeah, I agree. I don't think it was a red card from Udogie. I think it was silly. I think he was lucky that he didn't catch the guy. If he did, I think that's definitely a red. But that felt like it was a bit of the catalyst. And I don't know if anyone else picked this up. A player I've been really disappointed with the last 3 or 4 games. I thought that Bissouma and Sarr in midfield from that moment just lost their way as well. I felt that we were giving the ball away a lot in midfield, and Bissouma's worried me. Bissouma, since the Brighton game, that's Brighton and Palace, then this game, it doesn't look like the Bissouma that we were all going mad about for the first sort of 7 or 8 games of the season. What did you make of that dynamic in midfield when we started to get pressed by them in the first half after 20 minutes?
Yeah, 100% agree with Stel and the fact that after that Udogie challenge, Chelsea just they just switched. You know, they just started to get physical. They started to throw their weight around, and we rose to that. You know, we rose to that challenge of them getting physical, and we unfortunately lost our heads after that. You know, players trying to stick up for each other, players trying to leave one on other players and stuff, where this is where professional attitude comes into play. We all know these players are you know, they're a group of players who are really tight now and they want to fight for each other, but you have to remain professional. You know, if we played our cards right, okay, we would have got a lot more fouls off Chelsea, but we sort of tried to match them stride for stride in terms of physicality, but we were more petulant about it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Udogie, for me, I think it was... Look, he made the right call because he had to go for the ball, right? Sterling would have been through. I think it would have been 2-on-1 had Sterling got through. He had to make that that challenge, but 2 feet off the ground, I think, just like what Will was saying, is reckless. It's reckless and it's in danger of, you know, endangering your opponent. So I think the yellow card was the right decision. I also think the ref, most of the decisions which he gave against us were the right decisions, unfortunately. You know, you can't argue with the yellow cards and the red card that he dished out to us. However, he should, you know, it should have been the case where, you know, Maddison being fouled all over the shop, you know, he should have sort of nipped that in the bud earlier on. There was one occasion in first half where he was getting battered in midfield and he would just play on. You know, where was the
Can I
yellow
ask
cards?
though, isn't that what you would do if you were playing Tottenham Hotspur? You would target James Maddison as the outlet?
Absolutely. But at the same time, you could have said, you know, the amount of times he was fouled, sorry, you know, it's tightening up. It's tightening up now. How many times is this player going to get tackled or fouled before you start dishing out a yellow card? But look, we can't argue the toss with the yellow card for Udogie. We can't argue the toss for the red card, which we're going to talk about next. But I just think we had to remain calm under pressure. Being 1-0 up, that was priceless at that point for me because we've got the upper hand. They're the ones who have decided to get physical and, you know, sort of losing it a bit. You know, just let them make the mistakes. Let them sort of draw the fouls from them. You know, I just feel like we needed to be a little bit more professional. But this is where the naivety comes from some of the younger players like Udogie, you know, in this situation. So I think that's going to come with time. But I think Udogie needs to learn from this, and I think he will, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, look, Perchy, just to round off this chat, I mean, is it naivety? Is it that we've got a young team? I thought Sarr looked completely lost, if I'm honest, in the midfield. I thought Udogie, again, giving the ball away a lot even before the tackle. You know, Van der Ven's still a youngster. I think we saw in the first 10 minutes, he made a couple of wayward passes as well. Is it youthful excitement? Are they being riled up too much by Ange? What, you know, because our discipline has been dreadful this season. So is this an ongoing worry, or is it just ironing out a few kinks?
For me, no. I think we're the second worst discipline side in the league on disciplinary points. I think it's happened a lot this season. I think we get so many yellow cards. We've now had 3 red cards. Udogie's one on Raheem Sterling is a yellow card, but I think he's only a yellow card because he doesn't catch him properly. I think he catches a leg properly. That's a straight red card. I thought the referee. I'll be honest. I don't think the referee had a bad game. I thought he was spot on. I don't think there was any decisions that I went, no, you've horribly got that one wrong. I didn't see many. But yeah, there was a part of me in this game where I want to say when we were talking about the first half, so I'll keep it to the first half for now. But there was a couple of moments when I went, you're down to 10 men already here. And there's people pushing and shoving players. I'm going, where's the players on the football pitch going, hang on a minute, stop that now. We could go down to 9 men. At this point, it's 10 men, right? I mean, it actually did happen in the second half, but we'll get into that. And you're sort of going, someone needs to be taking control of it. Romero, who's meant to be one of the leaders, is the one that's lost his head. I thought, I'll be honest, I have to disagree with Will. I thought it was disgusting. We'll get into it after this one because I think it's the next point. But I just get worried about our discipline at the moment because we're now at the position where we are weakened. We've lost a lot of decent players to injury now. Maddison, Van der Ven, Romero's obviously already suspended, or Udogie suspended as well. We can't afford being ill-disciplined now. Bissouma's 1 yellow card from another red card. Do you see my point? Is how we can't lose another defender. We can't lose Ashley Phillips now to suspension.
Yeah.
Dare I say it, we can't lose Eric Dyer to suspension. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying it, right? So someone has to calm these players down and go, guys, we need to think about this because we can't lose any more players to suspension.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and by the way, sorry, I've just banned someone accidentally. Just a timeout. I didn't mean to. So Hotspur Hippies, sorry, I didn't mean to. I was going to bring up your comment and absolutely ruin it because it was pathetic.
Red card, you're gone.
I didn't mean to do that. So you will be back in a second. Apologies.
Savva, what's going on with you and technology today, man? What's happening?
Mate, I'm having a mare today.
Take his finger off get his hands off the joypad. Give it
man, it's bad times. Listen, I don't want to just go round in a circle. I just want to have the general chat. I want to move on to there's been a lot of controversial talking points in the last few days. I've never seen a game that has thrown up so much controversy. From managers' tactics to disallowed goals to red cards to penalties to disallowed, everything. But this is one that is, this is going round, and I know that a few of us on this panel have different opinions about this. I don't mind who wants to start. Everyone there's no point. I'm not going to jump in and be too involved in these debates. Everyone knows my opinion on Romero. It hasn't changed for 2 years. Good player, rash, brainless. Massive liability. He's like last year, he left us with 3 games without him. He's left us again this year with 3 games without him. What do we make? Was it a red? What is wrong with this guy? Why can't he stop doing these rash things? Who wants to start? Anyone? Go.
Go on, Will.
Go on, Will. I knew it. I should have just said, go on, Will. I should have said,
Will. That's why I put my hand down.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if people see it or not, but I tweeted out a tweet 2 days ago. It's got over 700,000 views right now on Twitter because it set the world on fire. But I'm going to tell you right now, not only was it not a red card, it wasn't even a foul. And I'm going to tell you why it wasn't a foul. The laws of the game specifically list what particular instances are cautionable. And Romero committed none of those, not a single one. People keep associating this as a tackle. It wasn't a tackle. He kicks the ball, plants his foot next to the ball, swings his leg and kicks it. It's not a tackle. It's not a challenge. In order for it to be a challenge, the player has to be within playing distance of the ball when he starts his initial kick. And Enzo was over a yard away from him at the time. So he is not responsible for Enzo continuing his challenge on Romero's clearance. Then as his foot comes through, it's a normal kicking action. His studs are down. He hits the ball. His foot continues to raise in a natural motion. His toe catches the shin pad of Enzo, who's running at him, by the way. And it turns his foot to the side. The momentum of his kick, and he kind of is, because the ball's rolling in front of him, he has to stretch a little bit, but it's not a sudden lunge. right? He doesn't increase the pace of his kick or anything like that. He just has to reach for it a little bit. And as soon as his toe hits the shin pad of Enzo, his whole foot swings this way because of the momentum. His toe clips him, it swings in, and then he hits it and slides down his leg. Is it a dangerous act? Yes. But when you reverse the play, if he was a striker and he was taking a shot on target on a rolling ball that was going away from him, and a defender runs into that shot, is the striker given a red card? Never. He's not even cautioned. In fact, the defender gets a foul or a penalty because he has challenged the striker of the ball, right? Romero never goes to ground. Romero never lunges. Romero never jumps. He never tackles. He never does any of those things. Enzo runs at Romero from over a yard away from the ball after Romero had already won the 50-50 challenge with Sterling, and the ball skids out of that challenge. Romero reaches there first. In control is not the ball at your feet. In control, according to the laws of the game, is you being able to play the ball. And Romero plants his foot next to the ball, swings his right leg at it. Now, is it dangerous? It can be, because Enzo charges at Romero kicking the ball. Right? There's two people here. Enzo is challenging Romero when Romero strings. You can watch the footage. It's on my Twitter. You can go see it. You can see the screenshots of Romero's leg already cocked back and Enzo over a yard away from Romero as his leg is in the kicking position. No one says Enzo does not have the right to encroach his strike and then get a penalty for him getting hit with a follow through. That's just the laws of the game. Now, is it a red on the day? The referee gives it, and it's down to his discretion. So do we deserve a replay or any of that? No, but the referee got it wrong on the day, right? And it wasn't even a foul, much less a red card. And that's
right.
Will,
hang on. Yeah, I was going. Sorry, I just wanted to. I was going to go Perchy. Sorry. So I'll come to you afterwards. Perchy. Not only was it not a red, it's not a foul. Go.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to say one thing, Will. If that's Heung-min Son down the other end and it was Levi Colwill doing that,
not a foul.
No, I'm not having it, because you would have got
100%. I said the exact same thing with Rashford. No, it's not a foul.
Oh, come on.
It's not. I don't know that.
We'll never
Look,
find that.
I am a very literal, very pretentious person when it comes to following the rules. I do not care if it's Heung-min Son. I don't care if it's Harry Kane. I don't care who it is. I've called it. Look, him kicking out could have been a sending off right then and there. Both the Udogie yellows could have been a thing. Why would I pick this one particular instance
I get
to disagree with people on if I have some type of bias? Is what I'm saying.
Well,
saying that on this particular instance,
I'm not saying you've got bias.
not a red.
If I ever get into serious trouble in my life and go to court, will you be my defender?
Yes.
Thank you.
But my argument would be, I agree with you, by the way. I think, but the point I will make on this is, you're already in the referee's mind. He kicked out and got away with one earlier one. I mean, that
referee didn't see that though. So
the referee didn't see it, but
so that's not the referee's mind.
But
they would have told him. They would have told him.
It didn't even review it.
They?
Yeah, they review everything. It just didn't get called up to, like, so someone's gone on. It's not that big.
Right, but the VAR is not chirping off in the referee's head at all times. They don't switch to his mic until they tell him something, right? Like when you're watching the Sky Sports, VAR may have seen it, right?
Yeah,
but they're not chirping in the referee's ear. But the referee on the field didn't give Romero a foul either. Didn't even call him a foul.
Well, if that happened to us,
there.
well, if it was roles reversed, right? 1 minute. If that happened to us in the penalty box, would you not be screaming penalty Spurs, penalty for Tottenham or not?
No.
Come on, man.
We would all
be.
Let's be fair, we would be.
I wouldn't be, because it's not a foul. Right, I'm telling you, 12-.
Can I ask
12.1, 12.3. Romero committed none of those offenses. No.
Let me throw another angle into this though. If all of what you've said there is true, the follow through onto his leg is awful. Like it surely, like that could have broken his leg. The follow through. I look at it slightly different. I look at it that I think Romero fully well knows what he's doing in these situations. That's how he plays. He is a dirty defender. He's not a defender with elegance. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying he's not an elegant defender who plays at his own stride. This is a guy who likes to go through people. He likes to destroy people. This is the tackle I think we've been used to seeing for him. And I think what Perchy's point was that he's already gone and got away. He knows he got away with one. Not saying he should have been sent off, but the kick out should have been a yellow or something. Like you can't do that. He's got away with it.
It could have been a red if the referee determined. That's literally a violation. That's violent conduct. It's off the ball. He kicks out at an opponent. That could be a sending off immediately if the referee deemed it to be endangering a player. 100%. There's no doubt about that. The law is very, very clear. Right. My point is on this particular one, it's not a tackle. Romero, when he starts that kick, Enzo is over a yard away from him and is running at Romero. Romero is looking at the ball. He's not even looking at Enzo. Right? I mean, this is like Romero doesn't mind going through a guy, but in this particular instance, he's just trying to clear the ball that he won from Sterling, but 10 seconds earlier. Half a second earlier.
Can I say on this, right? But right, by the letter of the law, Will is right here. Okay, he's actually right. He's not tackling. He's going to clear the ball.
Doesn't matter. I went through him. Doesn't
It's
matter.
not in the law. Going through him is not in the law.
This is what I'm saying. By the letter of the law, Will's right. He was clearing the ball. It's different. However, why I believe it is a red card is because I think, and this is just an opinion now, there's no fact to back it up. And without fact, it means nothing. But it's just an opinion on this. I think Romero, when he went to clear it, wanted to leave a little something on him. And I think Romero left more than what he even wanted, because once he made the impact, what happened after, I don't think he wanted that to happen, but it did happen. And I think that's where the Reds come in. I think that's what's happened. But Will's point of the law is about tackling, not clearing the ball. He's right. Will's right on that bit. But I think they've looked at it and said, you know what? He's gone in too aggressive. Did you need to clear the ball that aggressively? I think that's what they've looked at, Will. The aggression of the clear.
Yeah, because the ball's rolling away from him, right? So if you watch the actual thing, you watch it in slow motion, which we have the benefit of because of the VAR things. You can see him. He plants his foot to the left of the ball like a normal strike. He brings his leg behind him and he starts to kick. But because the ball is rolling away from him and Enzo is running at him, he has to kind of lean a little bit into the kick and speed up his leg to kick the ball before Enzo reaches it, before Enzo's able to play it. And Enzo, as he does that, you can see him. He hits the ball. His toes are down. His studs are down. He hits the ball. The ball immediately then bounces off Enzo's shins. And in a normal follow through, his toe catches the shin pad and it turns his foot. That turning the foot from the front view that VAR watched makes it look like at the end he kicks out. But it's not. If you watch from the side, you can clearly see his toe catch.
But Will,
hang on. So Will, a lot of people are asking then in the chat, not just this one, a lot of people, something I
absolutely they should appeal.
Saying, so you think Spurs should appeal it? I think they should give. I think Romero should probably get a 5 game. I thought it was disgusting. Is that your chair again, Has? Is your chair talking again, Has? What's wrong with you?
Savva, I know why they didn't appeal it. The reason they haven't appealed it is because if you appeal and you lose the appeal, they add another game.
It becomes a 4-game ban.
Right? I get that. I get that.
So I think Spurs have looked at it and thought, do you know what? What are the chances of us winning this? We've got one Will Stewart fighting for us, and for every Will Stewart, we've got 10 people against it. That FA panel is not going to go in our favor.
If they hired me to appeal red cards for them, I would probably win them all. But
I think that's what's happened, because everyone in the chat is saying it. But the FA, they set up the rules so that once they make a decision, it's very, very hard to go against the FA.
And this one too is a very subjective one, and the reason why they would have a hard time winning this if they did appeal is for 2 reasons. So IFAB defines certain terms and it doesn't define others, right? So it defines a tackle, it defines a challenge, and it defines kick. But in the definition of challenge, there are 2 words, and that is compete and contest. And they don't give definitions for that. So you're forced to use definitions that could be somewhat arbitrary, right? I could go find a definition for compete, and you could go define a definition of compete. We can't debate the ones that IFAB has defined because that's the definition by which we have to go through. So that's what makes it tricky, is that all they would have to do is find some kind of twisted definition of challenge, right? To say that it was a challenge. But every, basic common definition of the word challenge, Romero isn't challenging anyone because they have to be able to have played the ball in order for it to be a challenge. And Enzo couldn't.
My only issue is, like, when he goes in, right, there's no doubt he went to clear the ball. But in my opinion, I think he's followed through to leave something on Enzo.
Enzo wasn't even there at the time. When he started the challenge, Enzo wasn't even there.
Yeah, but he's seen Enzo going towards the ball. He's seen. Let's not make no bones about it.
After he's already in the
Enzo
motion
going towards the ball, but the angle that his feet comes in, his studs like follow through. I mean, his foot should be facing the ground, not his shin.
They were facing the ground.
It wasn't. I've got the pictures here.
No, they were. I've got the video. I'm telling you, we've got the video. He doesn't start sideways. His foot, he hits the ball with his
he doesn't start sideways. But he follows through and goes sideways onto his shin.
No. He goes. I explained it exactly. You can watch in the slow motion side video, right? When his toe follows through normally, it catches the stud or the shin pad of Enzo. That force, right? That friction of his toe in the normal kicking position, hitting the shin pad, and the momentum of him leaning forward to kick the ball turns the foot. That's simple, laws of motion, right? Perpetual motion, right? What's in motion stays in motion, right? He hits the shin pad that kicks his foot around. His heel follows through with his leg that's going forward, and he smashes the side of Enzo's leg with his cleats. If his toe doesn't clip Enzo's shin pad, he continues past Enzo and never turns his leg.
I'll be honest. I can't agree with this. I think it was just a disgusting. He knew what he was doing. He does it every time. Sorry, for me that was.
But he doesn't do it every time.
This is Romero 101. This is why I've always said I worry about him. He's a liability. That he's more worried about going through his man and being aggressive than he is defending. That's my worry about him. I think he's a talented defender. But what stops him for me being from this level to this level is these brain farts. It's too many. This guy averages a red card every 18 games. He's had something like 29 yellows in 70 games or so. It's like
he averages a yellow card every 3 games. I think I worked out.
He can't stop. He's got no brain. He can't stop.
Can I say Romero has only picked up 3 red cards in 3 years? It's 1 red card a season he picks up. It's not as bad as what people make it out to be. The yellows are high.
He's been here 2 years.
But Roy Keane and Vieira, they picked up.
Yeah, they're not centre halves.
Well.
They're not centre halves.
Yeah, but you got Pepe, you got Ramos.
I'm saying it's the
nature. Who are miles? Yeah, but you're naming players that are miles and classes above.
I'm talking about the number of red cards and yellow cards that they picked up on a regular basis, right?
Yeah, but if you're a class player or not a class player, what does that got to do with the aggression of your play?
Because they're better than him all round. Our fans talk about this guy as though he's God's gift to defending. For me, I see him.
If you're better, you're allowed to pick up more yellow cards. Is that what we're saying?
No, I didn't say that at all. I'm saying those players as well. I don't agree with. I don't think any defender should be getting that many yellows and reds. I think the moment you get to that stage, there's problems. I like Romero. I think Romero is a good player, but what he did the other day, there was no need for it. He did this against AC Milan. There was no need for it. He did it in a European game for us. There was no need for it. He did it against. Hang on. Let me finish. He did it against Man City. There was no need for it. And every time he keeps leaving himself 3-game bans. He doesn't.
And then people he's only had 3 red cards. That's not true.
He's had 5.
This is his 4th red card for Spurs.
He's had his
4th red card for Spurs.
I've got it here.
This is his 4th red card for Spurs. He got 1 against Man City. He's got 1 against Chelsea. He got 1 against
AC Milan.
In AC Milan, and then 1 in his first 4 or 5 games against whoever in the Europa League, whatever it was.
I've got it here. He's got 3 yellow cards. 3 red cards.
He's got 4. He's got 4 red. Listen, either way, whether it's 3 or 4, this guy can't.
But 1 red card a year, is it that bad? 1 red card.
That's not 1 a year. That's not 1 a year. He's been here 2 years, and that's not 1 a year.
It's his 3rd season.
Okay, but
the season's only just
started. This season's 10 years in. This season's 11 games in.
All right, but we can only go by up to now, right? In the 3 seasons, he's had 3 red cards. The point I'm making is, I don't think
I'm sure he's had 4. I remember him getting. I remember him getting a
Where?
red card in one of his first games for us in a European game. They brought it up the other day on Sky
Was that
Sports.
a friendly, Savva? Was that a pre-season friendly?
No,
Maybe.
no, it was like one of his first games against
In the league, he's only had 2 red cards.
2 in the
Two
league,
red.
1 in the Champions League, and he got 1 in the Europa League. One of his first 3 or
We've
4.
never been in the Europa League.
The Conference League it was.
The Conference League, then whatever it was, he's got 4 red cards.
Okay, no, that makes sense because the
Right,
Conference League, Conference League isn't
can
on
I-
my list. Okay,
Right,
Can I
okay.
give you a stat, guys? Can I give you a stat? Romero's got 4 red cards in 75 appearances. Okay. Apparently, according to stats, Van Dijk, Saliba, and Diaz have just one between them in a combined 258 appearances.
Yeah, their levels
for their
above
clubs.
this guy. They're
Right, I'm just
levels
saying.
above this guy, mate.
I'm just
They
saying.
don't need to do what he does.
That's the difference we're looking at. Yeah, I get it.
Yes.
If you look at it, in the sense that he's only,
Who-
if you average
Has-
it doesn't
Has who
seem
those
much.
players? Has who those players? Saliba.
Saliba, Van Dijk, and
Ruben Diaz.
Ruben Diaz. Yeah.
Okay,
And
but
just-
Van
just for
Dijk,
clarity, I'm
and Ruben Diaz, fair enough. But Saliba, this is only Saliba's second season now.
No, we're not talking. We're talking about those 3, 258 appearances combined.
Yeah,
They've only
but I'm just
picked up
saying-
one
but I'm just
between
saying Saliba's. I think you've got to do people that have had 3 seasons. Look, either way.
But he's
I-
only
No,
got,
it's
he
only
has
by me.
4 in all competitions, by the way. 4
Yeah.
in all competitions.
It's
Not
4 in
5.
all
Right, sorry, guys,
competitions.
Comp.
can I address something, please? Because there's somebody who, which is quite annoying. It's somebody who I've actually helped before and I've tried to get people to subscribe to this channel before, and he's just calling me out over something that I'm not sure what I've done here. Right? I'm just sorry. It's really frustrating me. So if this is Hotspur Hippie, this is Paul, right? Is it Paul?
Yeah,
I
Paul.
don't know.
Yeah, Paul, Hotspur Hippie. Let's come and say,
Okay.
so Savva, you were the first Spurs fan to back Ange, were you? I've never said that. Hotspur Hippie has gone on to say, were you on Spurs channels in March saying you wanted Ange? I can't recall. Never said that. Come on, Savva, don't go all quiet on me. You were the first to support Ange. It must be true as you only talk facts. Claim it again. Go on. I'm not sure if I've actually said a lot during the show. First, still waiting. Maybe I misheard you when you said I was the first to say an only fan to back Ange. I mean, sorry, has anyone heard me claim any of this? I'm not sure what's happening. I'm not sure what is going on. It's so weird. I'm getting a lot of shit from YouTubers this last week about things I've not done or said. If what I think you are referring to, what I've said is that when I'm talking about from the moment we were linked with Postecoglou, I was one of the first fans who on my channel was like, I want him. And anyone who watches me regularly, Perchy, you do, has you, I was like, yeah, I want him. I'll take him. I think he's a good manager. Yeah. I wasn't claiming that I wanted him before we needed a manager and he was the manager of Celtic. That would be silly. I wasn't claiming him when we were linked with Arnie Slot because he wasn't linked with us. I can't link us to every manager in the world. But from the moment it was said we want Postecoglou, I like Postecoglou. I was like, I want him. So I've said I was one of those first ones. So what I hate, and the only reason I brought this up, sorry, I really don't like being misrepresented with lies like this. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're in the Spurs community or not, because I don't believe you should lie about other YouTubers like this. This isn't what I said, Paul. Please don't claim that. I've always said, and this is my last thing I'm going to say on it, I've always said from the moment we were linked with him, I was one of the first ones going, I like that as an appointment, right? Not all of these people that were like, not you guys, sorry, just saying, not all the people that were going, oh my God, who is this guy? He's done it in Scotland and blah, blah, blah. I was the one when I was streaming at the time with the likes of Henry saying, listen, this guy's a good manager. So I'm not sure what the attack is here for, Paul. I'm not sure what's happened. I've not spoken to you for about 6 months.
I was out of town at the time, so I didn't get to say anything. So
well, the thing is, I've not said
No
it. I've not
receipts on
spoken to this
me.
guy for 6 months, and now he's just coming at me in the chat. I don't understand why. If this is your way to get your 5 minutes of fame, mate, just ask. You can come on, and I'll let you have your 5 minutes of fame, and we'll help grow your channel. Apologies, sorry guys, I don't want to be misrepresented. Look, my point in all of this, anyone take this. I like Romero. I just think he's got that gene in him. I just think he's got that liability gene.
Yep.
And as one of our captains, right? Games like the other night is where I expect him to be the one going, oi, calm down, you get here, calm down. And I didn't see him, Maddison or Son, all 3 of them when it was kicking off. I saw them rowing with the ref, But like Perchy's point earlier, I didn't see them running in and going, oi, come on, what we doing? And that worries me about Romero. I've always said that. I'll stick by it
I
until
just
he
don't
knocks
think
it out
that
of his game.
particular. I just don't think that particular challenge was rash, right? Like there are times, and if you actually watch like highlight reels of Romero and you go back and look at like a Y Scout where they break it down, you know, they'll attach a video to specific attributes of play. Romero rarely goes to ground on a retreat, right? He actually takes the ball off of attackers standing up more often than Van der Ven does. Van der Ven goes to ground more frequently in a retreat than Romero does. When Romero goes to ground, it's usually from when he's in the backfield and he's running forward. So he reads that a pass is coming into the midfield. He'll sprint at the top of his, you know, however fast he can run, and he'll slide in to take out balls that are coming into midfielders in dangerous positions in transition. That's when he gets himself in trouble. That part of his game, I think he needs to work out. And or there was one time last year, I think it was the red card that he got last year in the league, when Eric Dyer makes an absolute blunder and Romero runs in behind him as a last-ditch effort type of a deal to stop an attack. But he's actually, I don't think he's as rash as people are making him out to be. Sure, he gets a lot of yellows because he's very physical, right? And so when you take skin off people, when you're in that Ramos, that Pepe, that Chiellini, they're both very physical players, right? They were all very physical defenders. You're just going to get yellow cards because as well as referees know the laws of the game, they tend to act off emotion at the time, right? When you're a referee and you see somebody take somebody's head off, your first instinct is like, hey, that's uncalled for, and you go to your pocket. I know that you guys don't like data, but for me, Romero has been one of the best defenders in the league this season, top 2 or 3, and is clear of anything that Saliba's ever done by any metric you want to measure it. Trophies.
He's never clear of Saliba.
I'm
Saliba, year after year, whichever team I've seen him play for, he looks cool, calm, collected. This is the
cool,
problem
calm,
with
and
stats.
collected doesn't make you a good defender, does it?
But he's also a bloody good defender. Let's be brutally honest about this. When you
know,
watch
he makes more errors leading to goal than Romero does, right?
I'm not saying about errors. All players make errors. I'm just talking about, I know if I had a back line right now and you gave me the choice between those two players, the thing is, we can't have it both ways. Romero, for me, had a really poor season last year. Yeah. Saliba, I thought, was absolutely class last year.
In that poor season, he was better than Saliba.
I just, based on what, this is the problem. We're about to get in a conversation about
150 different statistics.
Yeah. Well, he was better than Saliba last season.
Yes.
For us.
We went through a 6-hour show on it.
Saliba, who was part of one of the best defenses in the league last year, whose title challenge completely went awry the moment he came out the team, versus Romero, who was, I'm going to say average at best last year. We're saying Saliba wasn't as good as Romero last year.
Yes.
Oh, that's no. This
is projecting team results onto the individual.
We conceded a record amount of goals last season.
Okay, but conceded goals are not an individual statistic. That is a team effort.
Conceded goals.
Romero is not responsible for Hugo Lloris throwing the ball in the back of our net against Arsenal, is he? That's not his mistake. So you have to judge individual players on their individual mistakes. And Saliba had more errors that led to shot than Romero, more errors that led to goals, and more penalties conceded than Romero last season. That's a fact. That is a fact.
So, hang on. So, but again, this is where stats can tell a different. This is why we can't always go by stats. Watch Arsenal last year, their back four. The moment that man came out, everything changed for them. He was class.
And the moment Romero came out of ours, it changed as well.
Well, last year.
Moment Benton come out, I think it changed us.
Romero was in for most of last year and we were crap.
But when he was injured, we lost games. And when he wasn't, we didn't as much.
Can I jump in here?
This can't be real. Like, if we're going to have to debate about this season, maybe. But last year, Saliba was what? Team of the season?
Points per appearance doesn't lie, my man.
Can I jump in here?
Oh, this is
right?
this is mind blowing.
Let me jump in a second, right? So
yeah, jump in.
I was on the show with Will when he did this Saliba versus Romero analysis, right? And I was very
it's all stats, right? It's all stats.
Hear me out. I was very, very critical of this as we did the show. But what Will did was he took not your typical 10, 20 stats. He took 150 metrics looking at defensive, attacking, possession, movement, decision making, a whole host of this. It took about 2-3 hours to put this together, right?
So did Romero get in the team of the season?
No, he didn't.
Why not?
Savva, let me
because we didn't finish second.
Let me explain what I was about to say. When you look at the full array of stats, not the ones we see on Sky Sports, not the ones we get off SofaScore, Romero actually does outperform Saliba on an individual basis. However, when they do these teams of the year, or when we as fans watch football, we don't look at the stats. Like, I don't look at them. If Will does a show, I'll look at it because it's my channel with Will and Iggy and whatnot. Now, when I watch, I would say, yeah, Odegaard's better than whatever we had. He's better than other than Harry Kane, I'd say all the Arsenal players were better because Arsenal as a team just caught your imagination, it caught the eye. And Spurs were in the mud. We were depressed. We hate them. They're shit, whatever. That's how it was last season. But if you break it down on an individual basis and what they had to deal with and what they did in those moments, Romero did come out on top over 365 days. On the eye, it will tell you a different story. There's no doubt. What the correct answer is, who's better? I'm on the fence with this one. I genuinely am. Going into the show, I was Saliba's got to be better than Romero. But I'm on the fence because
I watched them. I watched every single highlight reel of both players, and what Romero does defensively is far more exceptional than William Saliba. William Saliba is not a great passer.
This has got to go down as the worst opinion I think I've ever heard on YouTube.
Go watch them. They will. Saliba highlight reels will literally put you to sleep.
Let's hear it out.
Look at the metrics.
Hang on. No. Can we please watch games?
Yeah, by the eye test. That's what highlight reels are. They're videos of people playing, right? It's not stats.
But highlight reels can be easily you can interpret. I'm sorry.
They're the best moments of each player, right? So if Romero's best moments are better than Saliba's best moments, who's the better defender?
Guys, let me put it to a different way. Let me put it to a different way because this might make people think different. Okay, do you think Vicario was a good signing for Spurs?
Yeah,
I didn't know. If I'm honest,
can I be honest with you?
At the time,
I didn't know.
Now in hindsight, would you? Okay, let me rephrase that.
Yes.
Would you say Vicario has turned out to be a good signing for Spurs?
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
So far, yes.
Okay. Would you say Udogie has turned out to be a good signing for Spurs?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
right.
Yeah, he's done okay.
Potentially, he's got good potential.
He's played like 10 games of football. Yeah.
He's off to a good start then, right?
Yeah.
I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
These signings were all made off of the exact same stats analysis Will did as a shortlist by the scouting team, data analyst team to say, right, we've done our bit. Here's 2 or 3 that we've fine-tuned from the 50 we've looked at. We've got it down to 2 or 3. Now go and watch them play and decide which one you want. So the data narrows down the shortlist. And then the eyes, the scouts, go and watch and say, right, that's the one we want. The manager looks and says, that's the one I want. But to get down to the shortlist, to get down to Romero or this player or Van der Ven or that player, it's the data that does it. And when you use that data, the same data against Saliba, Romero came out top. I was shocked as well. I was shocked as well.
If we say about that though, like let's put it simply, let's pick any elite football club, Manchester City. Man City, if they were to buy a defender, one of those 2 defenders, they're buying Saliba every day of the week.
No, in fact, Romero was just linked with Real Madrid move today. On Twitter.
What's that got to do with what Perchy just said?
That's not my point.
Why would they take Saliba? Why is Real Madrid wanting to sign Romero over Saliba?
No one said Real Madrid.
No, Will,
I saw those fake links with
not
him.
A fake link. It's an actual news source.
Have they bid for Romero?
No, they haven't bid for anyone. It's not the January transfer window.
Right. Look.
That's not
That's
the point.
mad. That's
I think the thing is here, like, we can. If Romero was better than Saliba last season, why did Arsenal have one of the best defenses in the league last season whilst he was there? And I think someone made a good point there. Every single one of us watched Arsenal. The second he got injured, their defense
I can answer your
like
question.
night and day.
We can answer your
One
question.
minute.
Because defenses are a pairing, and they're also include the goalkeeper. Hold on. They also include the goalkeeper, and Ramsdale last year had one of the best seasons of his life, right? There were many games where Ramsdale bailed them out from conceding 2 and 3. You also had their left backs and their right backs. It's that whole defensive unit, right? And you can see, as we're about to see now, that pairings, right? Two quality players that complement each other's attributes, improve a team's resistance to scoring goals more than any one individual player. Romero had to play alongside Eric Dyer and Ben Davies, which none of us, even the stats will tell you, are horrible defenders. He also had to play with wing backs who weren't at the quality they were in, because we're still trying to buy people all the way up until January, right? But you're talking about individual versus individual. Of course, the team numbers are going to be better because Arsenal had a much better team last season than we did. But when you look at the individual's results and what each individual did in each game, Romero tops Saliba. It's a fact. You can't. It's not debatable.
Yeah, it's fair. No. It's very debatable. If we were talking about this, hang on. If you were talking about this season, I'm on the fence, but I'd still take in Saliba. I think he's a much better footballer than Christian Romero.
I wouldn't take Saliba.
He's not brain dead. There's a right. But last season, Saliba was outstanding. And I take it that Romero was part of a team that didn't defend very well. But when he got all of his plaudits the year before, he was playing with the same defenders that he played with last year. He didn't have a good season last season. There were many games where he just went lunging in, stupid tackles. Look at that AC Milan, Aston Villa. These games where he just dives in, I don't see Saliba doing that when I watch him. I don't see it.
So I personally, so maybe it's just a personal preference on defenders that you enjoy, right? Some of my favorite defenders to ever watch the game were Ramos, Pepe, Cellini, right? Lots of guys that were petulant and dived in all the time.
Right. Okay, cool.
That's the type of defending I liked, right? I don't like VVD for me. Yeah, he's a good defender, but watching his style of defending for me is absolutely boring. I like bone-crushing tackles. I like physicality. I like that type of defender.
Hang on. Sorry, are we talking about, did you say Virgil van Dijk, or are we talking about?
Yeah, Virgil van Dijk.
Right, Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, he's a great defender. He's just not my cup of tea. I don't like that type of defender, that lackadaisical, lazy,
Whoa. Hang on. Lackadaisical, lazy. See, now I think this is where stats ruin. This is why stats are ruining football, right?
I'm not talking about stats. I'm talking about my personal preference.
Right, but okay. But forget stats. This lackadaisical and lazy. When Virgil van Dijk was at his peak before he got that injury, he's one of the best defenders this Premier League's ever seen. He was a Rolls Royce. He didn't need. The difference is the players you like need to dive in and tackle because they're not up there as good as him. Virgil van Dijk is a beast of a centre-half who is always 1 or 2 steps ahead of the forward, always in the right position, superb on the ball, excellent in the air. He doesn't need to go diving in. This is the problem. Whenever I hear people that want to call Romero world-class or put him above all these top defenders, they're always talking about aggression and passion and the diving in. Top defenders, very, very few of them do that. Ramos, yes, did. Ramos
Cellini,
did.
Pepe.
But
there's lots of them that did.
Chiellini is more of a
Ramos.
A pincher and a grabber but Virgil van Dijk. Are you telling me in their peak you would have Romero over Virgil van Dijk?
If I had a preference, I'd pick them both, right? I like one balance and one. If I had to pick one or the other, is my other pair back a more calm guy?
No, let's not. We're not getting into. But we're talking about if you could only pick one. I said to you, You need a centre half.
I'm playing one back in defense. I'm playing one in defense. I would pick Romero. 100%.
Over Virgil van Dijk in his peak.
Yeah.
But this is the thing though. Like Paolo Maldini came out with one of the greatest ever defenders I've ever been able to see.
That quote
Paolo
is not
Maldini.
from him, by the way. He denied it himself.
But my point being is the statement's right. Whether or not it was him that said the statement's right. If I've had to make a tackle, I've already made a mistake, which is right.
So how do you take the ball off a player that's challenging you if you don't tackle it?
Perchy, if that was true, then John Terry's a piece of shit because John Terry did it all the time and he won everything, and he won individual awards as well. So see, this is the it's like when someone of high level says something, we cling on to it as fans because we respect them so much for what they are. Mourinho won everything in the game. He said Oliver Skipp's a future Spurs captain.
Yeah, Messi said Romero's the best defender in the world.
We pick certain things people say when it works for our kind of argument. Like Maldini, he's right. He's right. Maldini's right. If you've got to make a challenge, then something hasn't gone right. But has it not gone right because of you or the team? Because if John Terry's got to make a last-ditch tackle and slide in to win the ball, is that his fault or because the team somehow?
No, of course. I get what you're saying on that point. Yeah, I get that. But I just sit back and go, but Van Dijk, I thought Van Dijk.
If I had to pick one, and the reason why if I had to pick one is because Romero has attributes that Van Dijk doesn't have. There isn't a better player of taking the ball off of a person standing up than Romero. I'm sorry. Go watch the amount of times that he pulls the ball off of people. He'll track people. He doesn't get scared. He doesn't get nervous. He runs alongside of him, and he just nicks the ball off him after they give him a half a yard, and he busts it in there. He's not the biggest guy. He does all the time.
Van Dijk,
dribbling way better than VVD on the ball as far as taking the ball forward, as far as creating in transition, setting up the attack. He's way better than Van Dijk is. So if I only had to have one,
maybe right now, whatever. But in his prime, though, Van Dijk was one of the best defenders I've seen in a very, very
great defender. But he's not as good going forward as Romero. And if I had to pick one, I want a more well-rounded defender. Someone who can help me in the offensive transition, who can push up.
Guys. Two things, and then I'm not going to speak on this again. Number one, whatever I've said, I'm not saying at any point Saliba is no good. Exactly. I think Saliba is
great
superb.
Defender.
I think he's superb. I'd have him at Spurs tomorrow.
And heartbeat.
My first point was that when you match them up and you go through all the metrics that the scouts do for hiring these players, for signing these players, for recommending them, Romero came ahead. That means Romero is better. Doesn't mean Saliba's no good. Saliba's superb.
Hang on. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Savva, my second point. We'll come back to it.
Sorry,
I'm going to forget what I'm going to say.
Isn't fact. That's not fact.
No, the stats are fact on this, Savva. They are. They're factually correct. The stats I'm talking about, right? Data analytics from a scouting perspective. The second point I wanted to make is, I think as well, like the game has changed so that there's different types of defenders. Like there's certain teams that need that tough, robust, throw your body on the line, win every challenge, every ball that comes in the box kind of defender. Then you've got a defender that's more composed, on the ball, had to play out from the back, can travel forward with it, almost more of a midfielder than what they are a defender. Then you've got a versatile defender that can play left side, middle, either one of the two positions. Then you've got the all-rounder. I'm done, Sam. I'm done. Then you've got the all-rounder. I don't think Saliba and Romero are the same type of defender either.
I agree with that.
I'd love to have both.
But one is more reliable.
Would be amazing.
One is more reliable, right? But listen, this is the thing.
Saliba's calmer, 100%. Saliba's calmer, 100%. I agree with that bit.
You know when we look at all these stats of different players and different teams, one thing I've never understood about it is all teams play different styles of football, right? So, like, I see people that compare stats and they go, "Oh my god, this player's have so many more clearances than that one." Yeah, but that one plays in a team that have less of the ball and are under attack.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
This player's got more headed clearances. Yeah, but again, that's because this team's under more pressure than that team. Yeah. You know, this player's made more passes. All right, but maybe he plays in a team that passed the ball better than like this is why I listen. There's a place.
We took all that into consideration. That's why percentages are important.
That can be so subjective. Listen, I'm totally happy with the Saliba Romero debate. I just can't have Saliba over prime Virgil van Dijk.
But
Hang on,
Savva,
hang on, let me finish. Let me finish, man. Let me finish. Right? Are we then saying, like, are we putting Romero over? Are we going to start putting Romero over prime John Terry and prime Rio Ferdinand?
You asked me my preference.
Vidic.
You asked me hold on. I'm not saying I didn't even say Romero was better than Virgil van Dijk. You asked me who would I rather have
him
if I could only have one, and I would pick Romero because Romero offers more in a total aspect of the game than VVD does. VVD's long range passing isn't great. His dribbling on the ball, taking the ball in transition isn't great.
Yeah,
right. He's a great defender, but as an all around player, Romero has more tools in his toolbox than Virgil van Dijk does, and that's why I would choose Romero. It's not because he's a better at defending.
I'm lost for words. We're talking about prime Virgil van Dijk. No one could get near him. Like, this guy came in and transformed Liverpool like no end. Hang on. Let me. Oh, come on. Can we finish some sentences though? Right.
I was going to agree with you, Savva. I agree with you.
No,
I would
take
Van Dijk. I would take Van Dijk. I'll take Van Dijk.
Listen, and by the way, I think Romero is a very good defender. I think he's brain dead at times, but I think he's a very good defender. But if I was doing a list of the best defenders that have ever played in the Premier League, this guy doesn't even make my top 20. This guy is so far removed from these top players. It's unreal. Like Virgil
hasn't won anything in the league yet. 100%.
No. It's nothing to do with him not winning anything. Ledley King won a League Cup. There's no way you're picking Romero over Ledley King. That's the class centre back that's got everything to his game. Or it's not about win. You don't have to win anything. Saliba's not won anything yet. He's a class centre back. It's not for me. It's not about winning anything. But I just don't understand how we've gone from he's better than Saliba to better than prime Virgil van Dijk. Or he's
not better. He's not better. We haven't done that analysis. That Will was just telling you.
I don't know if he's better than Van Dijk or not.
You do know he's not. You know he's not as good as Van Dijk, right? You know
statistically, I don't know. I haven't looked it up.
We don't need. Do we really need stats to look at prime Virgil van Dijk?
Is what actually happens, right? My opinions are what I think happens, right? So, in order for me to conclusively say Van Dijk is better, like I think right now, based on what I do know, that I think Virgil van Dijk was better at defending than Romero. Is he a better all-around defender than Romero? That for me, I don't think is a clear answer, and that's why I pick Romero over
Isn't the word there? Is he an all-round better footballer, not defender? At defending, Romero can't hold a candle to Virgil van Dijk. Yeah. Okay. So as a defender, surely to go and win titles and stuff like that, you want one of the best the world's ever seen versus Romero, don't you? Surely no other fan in the world is picking Virgil van Dijk second to Romero if you've got a choice. Surely,
if I only had to have one, I would pick the better footballer because the better footballer can help me in multiple facets of the game that the better defender can't. Because I don't think Romero's bad at defending. Now, if Romero was horrible at defending and VVD was great at which he is, then I would pick Virgil van Dijk. But I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of defensive prowess for the other aspects of the game that Romero brings. That's just my opinion.
Can I just ask quickly before I move to Haas? Would you have Romero over Ledley King?
Hell no, Will.
I can't believe there's even. I can't believe there's even.
I thought you were asking Haas. Sorry, I missed
that.
No,
I said before I go to Haas. Surely, I mean,
no, I wouldn't have Romero over Ledley King. I wouldn't have Romero over Ramos, and I think they're very similar in one. No, Saul Campbell was far better. Saul Campbell was a hardcore, get in your face, slide tackle, knock your face off defender as well. I like class. Before Saul Campbell did what Saul Campbell did, I really like Saul Campbell.
Yeah, he was class. Yeah. Okay, well, look, we move on. Haas, go on, mate. You want to
secretly? I might still do a little bit like the playing style, not the person.
It's all good, man. Listen, people in the chat. It's all calm. It's just debate. It's all good. Haas, go on, my man.
Yeah, sorry. I'll just edge in what I've got to say as well amongst all the fanfare. But all I was going to say is, without looking at stats and everything else, right? If you was just looking at it from watching the player alone, who you're going with, Saliba or Romero?
Romero all
Or-
day, 100% Romero.
Saliba.
Not even a second thought.
even without the stats.
Yeah, even without the
Sal-
stats.
Does the
Saliba.
same? Does the same apply to everyone on the panel?
No, I'd go Saliba personally.
Because
Saliba.
I can believe what Will's saying. The stats might say X, Y, Z. He might be better in every single stat. And it's
Not
factual.
every, just the majority of them.
Okay, just the majority. But if we weren't looking at stats, because we never had stats 10, 15 years ago as much as we do now, who are we picking, Stel?
What was the question again, Has? Between who?
If you didn't know the stats, if you didn't look at any stats whatsoever, okay, between Romero and Saliba, and just by watching them every game,
Saliba. I picked Saliba.
pick Saliba. But I get what you guys are saying. Factually, it's correct. Factually, you can't go against what the stats are saying.
Has,
right?
Has.
Hang
Do
on.
you know what's interesting about?
I'm really
stats?
trying to move on from this defender chat. Go on, mate.
I
I'm really
never-
trying to move it on. And
I never got anything.
oh,
in
sorry. I
earlier
know
on,
you've got to
so-
just jump in. You got to jump in, man. Just jump and shout. And
Has, do you know what it was about the stats that turned that made me think differently about it all? It was the fact that it was percentiles, meaning that if one defender has to defend against 20 headers and the other defender has to defend against 10 headers, obviously the guy defending against 20 has got more to defend against.
In
so it's done
total,
as a
yeah.
percentage. So what
Yeah,
percentage of the 10 were you successful? And Romero kept coming out top on everything, dude. I
Like
couldn't believe
30% better aerially. 30%
I couldn't believe it.
of
I was
aerial
thinking-
duels better.
But anyway, it is what it is. But
Okay,
on the
let's
idea,
move on.
let's move on. Listen, there are over 400 of you in the chat and only 127 likes. It's becoming a massive concern. Shows used to be getting by now. We should be on 200, 250 likes. Please, can we have a like the button party? Please smash the likes right now. Please also go over and subscribe to Stel and Will at Tottenham Away. Subscribe to Has at Southview Coys. And please subscribe to Football Heritage TV from tonight, from all 400 people watching. We haven't had a single subscriber. So please do smash that subscribe button for absolutely everyone and show some love. We're all in the same community, right? Whether we agree or disagree on content, we're all the same community. So please subscribe to everyone. Guys, let's move on to the next one because I'm sure the next talking point won't be controversial in any way, shape or form. Here it is. I don't know why I've put that as a ticker. Sorry, I did not mean to put that as a ticker at all. Still, I can't do it today. My technology is gone today. I just don't know what to do. I've just put it as Ange's second half high line. Now, the reason I've put it as that is because for me, this is all I'm going to sound, and then I'm going to let you four go at it. For me, what I don't understand is...
I'm still here, by the way. I'm just answering a phone call.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Most managers, you lose a man, you lose two men, you drop 10, 15 yards. Our manager didn't even stick to our current high line. He went, you know what? I'm doubling down on this bad boy. I'm going from the middle of our half to the halfway line. It's caused a lot of controversy. I'm seeing so many people saying this is stupid, this is crazy, this is naive. I'm in that camp. And then I'm seeing a lot of people going, no, I get it. This is why he did it. This is his way. Where are we with it, guys? I'm not going to join you on this one. I did this to death on Rance's channel. I can't be bothered. Anyone can take this away. Has, let's start with you to get you some more airtime. And thank you for the 3 people that just subscribed. Please keep subscribing.
Nah, look, guys. I mean, I made my point clear earlier on other shows as well regarding the high line. I get why he's doing it. You're in a situation where you're with 9 men, thinking he wants to get a bit closer to the goal, wants to give the players a chance to sort of get forward, create more chances. I do understand why he's doing it. But for me, in a situation like that, I'm old school. You go down to 10 men. I want to see a bit of defending, make it hard for the team, try and counter, try and get a goal back. For me, Chelsea... They've been toothless this season. Let's not make no bones about that. They haven't been able to finish their dinner. It took them several attempts to get through us on Monday night. Had it not been for Big Vic, it could have been a lot worse than 4-1. So for me, I think we just gave them so many opportunities to score on Monday night. That was inevitable that they were going to get the goals. It didn't matter, whether it defended with a high line or not. For me, I just wanted to see us with a bit of resilience, change the tactics a little bit. Just tweak it, drop 15 yards back, give yourself a chance to defend. And, counter on the break. You know, maybe we didn't have the players to do it, but you know, we still had Sonny on the pitch. I know Brennan Johnson was hooked on the first half, but you know, I just think you've got to try and salvage a point. And I think it was a bit sort of experimental. Look, let's just go out on our shield, because it doesn't matter if we lose playing deep or lose, you know, playing with a high line. So for me, I would have just defended a little bit deeper, tried to get a goal on the counter. But I get why he did it. You know, he wants to stamp his philosophy on the team. He wants to go out on his shield and play football, regardless of, you know, what the personnel is on the pitch. So I get both sides of the argument, but I'm always going to be of that old school mentality where, you know, you should defend if you're a man down or a couple of men down. Some people are going to say Dyer, you know, is not suited to that high, is not suited to defending loads of balls over the top, this, that, and the other. You know, I don't buy it. I think at the end of the day, we should have just defended a little bit deeper to give ourselves a chance.
Yeah, I mean, Will, I've not actually, sorry, hang on, I'll come to you, Will, after Perchy. You've not talked for a while. Perchy, look, obviously, and this is going to be the last day that I have this conversation about highlights.
This is going to be good.
Because it's killed me.
Until we go down to 9 men against Wolves.
Until we go down to 9 men.
Yeah.
Until we go down to 9 men against Wolves. By the way, we're going to talk about the Wolves game in a bit and playing a high line with whoever we're going to play at centre back. But anyway, Perchy, I think a lot of people have misunderstood what I've said throughout this. I've never once said I want us to put 9 men in our box. My only feeling on this was just drop 10 to 15 yards. Vicario's sweeping anyway. It drags Chelsea's forwards into our half so that some of the through balls that weren't offside because they're running from our own half, so you can't be offside. It makes them offside and it makes them ask questions. That was my only worry with all this. But apparently, I didn't realize when I first said this the other night that this was going to be this great, big, massive thing. Where are you at with the tactics?
For me, I was, listen, I admire the sense that he did it initially, but got away with it. Like, and I think this, we did the watch long, and we were both, we sort of saw it raw at the time. And went, okay, listen, we've got away with it here. They've got through ball after through ball. Either it was offside or Jackson missed an absolute sitter or whatever, or Vicario did absolutely incredible. I kind of just wanted to see a little bit of a change. And I agree with you to the sense of, I wasn't on about sitting on the half, on the goal line and just defend. But for me, the worry I had was we allowed players with pace in the sense of Raheem Sterling, Mudryk came on in the second half. We allowed them, our half, to just go, do you know what? Let's have a free rein. I think what worried me the most was the amount of times they were 2-on-1 versus Vicario. I think for me, once that happened the manager's got to go there, go, do you know what, guys? Listen, we're going to throw the rule books out the window for this because I want to get a result out of it. Let's get a result and we move on. Listen, I'm not one of these. I don't want to see us defend. Like, because I couldn't stand last season. But for me, adaptation in games, I think I stand by my theory on this. If this was Mikel Arteta, our fans wouldn't be sitting there going, oh, that was brave, that was great. They would have gone, you're an idiot. If you sat a little bit deeper, you may have got a result out. By the way, we could have sat deeper and still lost the game. There is no theory that we would have got anything going down to 9 men. There's not many teams in football that lose 2 players by sendings off and get a result out of it. For me, what I felt we done there was we sat up high and went to Chelsea. It's not if you're going to score, it's when you're going to score.
When you're going to score.
And it just felt like, do you know what? We just basically went to Chelsea, go and have free reign at us. Go and build, get your striker confidence now at a click of a finger. He'd only scored 2 goals before that game. He goes and gets a hat-trick. And then all we know is he goes on and scores loads of goals now because he's just got a load of form from absolutely nothing. Because I think he was awful on the day. It was weird. Like
Perchy, what did we almost pull off? Everyone keeps saying we almost pulled it off. What did we almost pull off during that game?
That's the bit I don't get. I hear
People are saying to me on the chat and everything else, yeah, but we almost pulled it off. What did you almost pull off? What, we
Scoring a
almost
goal.
scored a
Win.
goal?
Scoring a goal.
You don't
And
think they
then-
would have
We
scored
lost
any more?
4-1.
I
We
didn't
lost
think. I didn't.
4-1, and
I
it should have
didn't-
been
wait a
about
minute.
7 or 8.
So
but-
are you saying to me that he
Wait,
would
hang
have
on, hang on.
With
Hang
if we'd have got a goal, let me just say this quickly.
minute to the 75th
If we'd have
minute.
scored a
It wasn't
goal-
2-1 until the 90th.
Hang on, let us finish. Let us
If
us
we'd have
finish,
scored a
let us
goal
finish.
though, Savva, say if it went to 2-2, yeah,
Yeah.
right? Would he have defended? Would Postecoglou have
Yes, he would
defended?
have. Yes, he would
So
have.
why?
Wait, hang on.
Right.
Stel,
So you're saying he can
100%.
defend?
Yeah.
These players can defend at 2-2, but they can't
So-
defend
so
when they're
can
9
I-
men.
No. We can't score if we defend the way people are saying.
But
We can't score.
Stel-
We wanted to score. Yes.
Stel,
Yes.
what I would say, I haven't got a problem, by the way, hear me out. I haven't got a problem in doing that when we go 2-1 down because we're going to lose the game anyway. Go and give it a go.
Yeah.
I had a problem with him doing it at 1-1. I was saying, if, for example, Chelsea go and nab a goal, you go,
There's
do you know what?
45 minutes to go, Perchy. You want to sit
So,
back for
you
45
stay in.
minutes?
I'd rather us stay in the game as long as possible.
Can I ask the
Perchy,
question?
we
Can I ask the question?
couldn't defend with 11 men under Conte and Jose with better defenders.
Yeah, but this is
Yeah,
is
you
only
want us
for
for 45 minutes to do
35
that?
minutes. No. This is what I see a lot of people are doing now. They're conflating it. It's like, but
Yeah.
under Conte, listen, look, right? I think the difference is, and this is what got thrown at me massively when I was just on Rance's channel, right? Is just because I didn't want us to play a high line on the halfway line. We're not even talking about playing the normal high line we play. I would have been comfortable with him sticking with that high line and saying to Chelsea, at least try and beat us, right? He doubled down and went to the halfway line, right? But everyone's saying it's literally you either go on the halfway line or you go on your 6-yard box. I don't know why are they the only two options.
Because
Let's
you can't
make-
press further back, Savva. You can't
Hang
press
on.
from there.
You can't press. Okay, you might not be able to press from there, but you know what? You listen for me.
How do you score then? That's how we
hang on.
play. What do you do?
Yep. But hang on. We're making out like we played really well when we went down to 9 men. We had a couple of chances. Yes, we did.
Four
I
times.
hear it, right? There's two ways to look at this, right? And hopefully I think everyone agrees with this, right? Everyone's going, what if that goal wasn't offside from Dyer? What if that ball had gone in from Son? What if that ball had gone in from Bentancur? Cool,
Yeah.
I get it. But what you could say is, what if all of Chelsea's one-on-ones that Nicholas Jackson couldn't finish to save his life, if they had gone in and we lose the game 7 or 8-1, which it very well could have been, guys, and you know it, all of a sudden, I'm just asking the question, would we still be sitting here saying, really glad our manager played with a high line on the halfway line?
No, we wouldn't. No.
Right.
Why is it different for
my
losing?
only-
But that didn't happen, though. But that didn't happen.
But neither did the hang on, Perchy. Neither did the what if we nearly scored with Son? What if we nearly scored?
I'm not saying
that's
what
the
if.
point.
What, I'm not. No. Right. Okay. Let me take my perspective. Okay. Because after the game, I was fuming with the tactic, and I did fan cams for my channel saying, explain why he did that. I went to bed. I slept on it. I woke up next day. I know what the score is. I know how I feel now. The emotion of it all the VARs popping up, the vibe in the stadium, that's all behind me now. I sat there and I watched it. And I made my notes and I thought, I'm going to watch it as a coach, not as a fan. And for me, I think Ange got it on point. And I'll tell you why I think he got it on point, right?
Was it the 4 goals that went in that was on point, or
no? Clearly not, because that's why we ended up getting hammered.
then how did he get it on point?
Well, I'm about to tell you.
But still,
I haven't told you why yet.
But you can't tell me he got it on point when we lost the game 4-1. There's no way of spinning that he got it right. We lost 4-1.
We were Savva. Let me share my view on it then. I remove the words on point, right? My view on it is this: if he drops right all the way back, which I know you guys are saying we shouldn't have done, but there's a lot of Chelsea fans that said we should have done that because Chelsea can't be a low block. A low block is in the 6-yard area, around outside the penalty box. We were never going to do that in a million years with Dyer, Chicken Royale, and Højbjerg. We were never going to do that in a million years. Yes, Liverpool came to Spurs and did that. So when you got Van Dijk, Matic, and Konate, 3 centre backs, different game.
Yep. Which is why I said I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and by the way, Liverpool still conceded when they did it. So we are definitely going to concede with our donkeys that we had on the pitch.
Sure.
So if you go
Man United
back,
yesterday,
right?
good example, right?
And yesterday, if we went further back but not all the way back, if we go because we're clapping the effort. We're clapping the effort, footy judge. The players did what the manager said. The manager said go on the halfway line. The players never said, can we do it? The manager told them. We applauded the players' effort. So don't write this, because that's not what happened. I was there at the stadium. But fair enough. It's an opinion. If we go, let's say, 10, 15 yards back, the problem we've now got is we can't press the way we wanted to. The only way we were going to get a goal in this game, there's two options that we could have gone with. Defend for the whole game and hope to God they don't score, or let's go for it and try and get a goal. Let's see if we can change the game that way. And the only way, in my opinion, we were going to score is if we were higher up where we can press from and win the ball.
Line.
Hear me out, Savva, and win the ball there, because the closer we are to their goal, if we do win the ball, it's much quicker to get to their goal.
I agree.
Right? So that's what he went for. Now, if we did go further back, we can't press the way we would have needed to try and create something. So if we go further back, we now need to counter. How do we counterattack when the pace, Brennan Johnson, is off the pitch? The creativity, Maddison, is off the pitch. The only outlet we've got is Kulu. 1 minute, Kulu, who's got no pace, which means the only way we're going to counter realistically is long balls to Sonny. We know he can't play that game. So if we did what you said, and I get why you say it, Savva, I get it. If we go further back, but not low block, we can't counter. The only way still, all right, was the high risk, high reward method.
Okay.
I agree with it.
Okay. So what we're saying here is, right, that if we had dropped 10 yards, that 10 yards means we can't press, but we can from the halfway line.
10 yards is nothing. It's still
10 yards deeper is where we conceded the second goal.
Yeah, but what I don't understand.
The second goal was
pushed forward.
Hang on. But what I don't understand about any of this is, if you play on the halfway line like we did, you've literally played it. Chelsea aren't a good team. They're a good team, but Chelsea are not a clinical team. Chelsea are not clinical.
We wouldn't do that against Man City. We wouldn't do that against Man City.
Hang on. He said after the game he
didn't
would.
do it against Luton.
No, we didn't do it against Luton. We went 10 men down against Luton and we sat back.
All right, let me get my point out, or this is pointless, right? He sat on the halfway line against a team that aren't clinical, but a team that do have bags and bags and bags of pace, right? So what he's literally saying there, without saying it, and we can't say this isn't true, because he just sat and watched them do it every time, is, all right, I've got no defenders with pace, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to go on the halfway line, and then every time they spring that halfway line, they're through on goal. And if they were clinical, that game could have been a huge scoreline. Yeah, we could have grabbed
that. We wouldn't have done that.
But hang on. Well, this doesn't. Hang on.
They only missed 2 chances in the first half, or second half, too, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
2?
2.
No. Guys, we didn't. Sorry, guys. We didn't just play on the halfway line. Vicario was deliberately played
high up
to
be a sweeper keeper.
Right, but hang on. This is my point I was trying to get to. This is my point.
Okay, go on.
This is my point I was trying to get to. You're saying we couldn't have gone 10, 15 yards further back, right? Because we couldn't press. I don't believe that in any way, shape, or form.
9 men, we can't. No, we can't, Savva.
I don't believe that.
They've got the overload in defence, Savva. You can't.
Hang on. The
press is a team effort, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Will, go on. There's no point in me trying to get my sentence out.
No, sorry.
Like, you've got to let me. Like, I'm not allowed to speak. Like, if we are playing a tactic where every single time they are running into our half, we are giving. I don't know how long is a pitch. How long is half a football pitch? 50 yards?
5 yards. Just depends on
50-ish yards, yeah, for half a pitch. What we're doing there is saying, right, every single time you make a pass into our half, you have got the whole half to decide how you're going to score a goal, because we had no one who could recover. Now, if it wasn't for Vicario being absolutely sensational and Nicholas Jackson, who can't finish his dinner, the number of times, it wasn't just the shots he had, the number of times where you're thinking, he's just going to go around the keeper here, but he's got absolutely zero composure. And we got away with it time and time and time again. So when people say, oh, but we got to the 75th minute, yes, because we got away with it time and time and time again. My question is this, like Perchy said at the beginning, if we watched any one of our rivals do that, no one's sitting on this panel, no one's sitting in that chat going, the manager got it right. No one. But because it's Postecoglou, there seems to be this thing where no one's allowed to say anything about Postecoglou, right? Now, this is the interesting thing for me, is it's not that he just didn't play a high line. It's that he had to move it further forward. It's the first manager in the history of football that I've ever seen that moves his 9 men higher up the pitch. Now, listen, did he go for it? Is it ballsy? Is that what people want to see? Is that bravery? Cool. Call it what you want. All I know is we gave Chelsea everything they needed, because even the Chelsea fans are saying we wouldn't have been able to break you down otherwise. We don't have it. But we went, go on, don't worry about breaking us down.
I don't think they know that until it happens, right?
Exactly.
So
Chelsea have never played against a 9-man low block. Chelsea played against 11 men low blocks. Brentford had 11 men on the pitch when they did it, not 9. Chelsea fans are full of it when they say that. No one counters them on that. No one said to Chelsea fans, hey, Chelsea,
hang on.
You've never played against a 9-man low block, Chelsea fans. No one's ever said that to them.
Watch Chelsea. Watch them struggle to beat anybody that puts up a defence against them.
11 man low block.
Even without that. Nicholas Jackson, right?
They've never done it without it.
Hang on. Nicholas Jackson, who had the space of White Hart Lane, couldn't even do it on most occasions. We're now saying that if he's got defenders in front of him and he's got to think and he's got to move and he's being tackled and jockeyed, that all of a sudden he's going to be good. Look, I don't care that we lost to Chelsea. And what obviously I don't want to lose Chelsea. I said before the game, right? Some point you're going to lose. And I think we all accept that on the panel, right? You're not going to go down season unbeaten. Sometimes you're going to lose a game. For me, it was just that we didn't make it hard for them. That's my only gripe. I think we made it very comfortable for them. I don't think they really had to do a lot. They knew if they kept springing that ball, sooner or later, we're sitting there on the watch along going, this one's going to go.
We did make it hard for them. They didn't score through a goal to the 93rd minute.
Scored that goal.
Hang on. Let me. No, but Will, we didn't. They made it hard for them because
we made it hard for them.
No, we were pressing them. We were pressing them.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Hold on. Like, I haven't spoke on this yet, so I'd like to get a point out just real quick.
Hang on. Will, I'll bring you in 1 second. But this isn't true.
It is true.
Hang on. How many times did they break through that halfway line and you're going, oh my God, they're through again. They're through again. They're through again. Of course they're supposed to. So that's not making it difficult for them.
That's the difficult part is Vicario's there to sweep it up, and he did it time and time again. Over 6 clearances from outside of his box in that second half.
But that's the point, though. Like that.
Are we not supposed to play with a goalkeeper? Is our goalkeeper not a member of our defense?
You're missing my point, though. Like this is it.
It is what you're saying.
No. What I'm trying to say is, listen. I thought as I said, I thought Vicario was the best player on the pitch.
But the tactic was for Vicario to do that.
But what we're basically saying is now that we're playing so high risk that all it took, by the way, was a bit of quality from Chelsea. And they get past the goalie.
It took 93 minutes for them to get past the goalie.
Yeah, because Chelsea did it themselves.
Oh, because we stopped him from doing it.
No, I don't think I watched that second half back. It was over the top.
Hang on. Let him talk. Still, let him talk. Hang on. Let Perchy finish. I'm
just trying to get the point. Like every single time I saw it, the ball was over the top, and it was either Mudryk or I keep forgetting it was on the other side. The other guy on the other side just running in, and then Jackson down the middle squares the ball, and that's where the goals came from. And it was constant. And this is the bit for me, by the way, and I stand by this. I have no issues when we go 2-1 down. Go out here. Do you know what? Go for it. You're 2-1 down. But we did it the second we go down it's to 9 men and it's 1-1. For me, it was stay in the game. And when I say stay in the game, people go, oh, well, we didn't concede, blah, blah. We did that because Chelsea were rubbish. If Chelsea were, and I always use the argument, if that was Man City and we did that, I'm not, by the way, before people say we won't do it against them, all that lot, if that was Man City, we lose the game 10-1 and nobody is sitting there saying it was brave, it was fearless, it was great. We sit there and go,
we weren't playing against Chelsea. We were playing against a team we knew couldn't finish, right? That's the point. And you have to understand hold on. People keep, I haven't even got to talk on this at all. The whole point of that tactic, is to get them to play the long ball over the top. That's how we win it back.
But they didn't play the long ball over the top.
The ball over the top. I'll counter your point when you said against a team that could. One second.
They didn't play the long ball over the top.
They were playing from midfield. over
was
our back
rubles
line.
every time.
That's a
But
long ball.
It wasn't over the top. They literally played it down the channels on the floor. If you look at the last 2 goals, they're carbon copies of each other.
Yeah.
Ball down the right channel, pulled it back, goal.
Right, because they switched. Hold on. They switched from playing it through the middle, where Vicario was sweeping up, to playing it in the channels to prevent Vicario from sweeping it up. They changed their tactics late on after our legs had gone, and that's how they ended up scoring 2 goals.
Can I just go back to one thing here? When you said about Chelsea can't score and all this, then why are we making it easy for them to?
We weren't.
We did.
How
It's
many?
not making it easy.
Perchy.
You didn't hear a word I just said.
Perchy, one second, right? Okay. When we went down to 9 men, at that point, if you go back in the history of football in the Premier League, any team down to 9 men that's got a good 40, 45 minutes ahead of them always loses. So as soon as we
I didn't say we were going to get a result. I didn't say that.
I know you never. I'm using it as a basis to explain the situation. As soon as we went to 9 men, everyone watching that game knew Chelsea are winning this, right? We knew we're losing this. Your argument is, well, at least make it difficult for them in that process.
Yeah.
Right. What Ange did, and I totally understand that point of view. What Ange did, and it's what I agree with, and again, it's opinions now. He said, sod this. I think we're going to lose anyway now because I've got none of my decent defenders on the pitch. It's not like Luton when we're down to 10 men and we drop deep with Romero and Vicario on the pitch. I've got and my left back's missing, right? We're going to lose this. So do you know what? I'm going to go down with a fight. And the only way I think we can go down with a fight and win it is by playing high up. It is risky. 100% it was risky. But
win it with 9 men.
We nearly got something from it. Did we? No,
we didn't nearly get something from it.
We nearly got something from it.
Can I ask you one question, mate? Because
until it went 2-1.
Why are you saying we didn't nearly get something from? We literally had more chances created in the second half than we did in the entire first.
Until it went 3-1. 3-1, the game was over. At 1-1, it's anyone's. At 2-1 in the 75th minute, we created a chance even at 2-1, right? As soon as it went 3-1, it was done. It was done. Ange took the calculated tactical risk of.
So why are we only taking the chances Spurs could have scored as opposed to the?
I'm not. I said it was high risk, Savva.
Hang on.
They only missed 2 chances.
Savva, I agree
no,
with
they
you.
didn't miss 2 chances.
Yes,
this
they
is
did.
not true.
It's
this
a
is
statistic.
not true.
Chances missed is a
not
statistic.
true.
Yeah, but
It is.
you're not accounting for their.
The ones that Vicario cleared, those aren't chances. Vicario's job is to keep them from making chances.
Let me finish. This is tedious. This is the problem again with stats. This is the problem. This is what I'll say again. The number of times they went clear, but
they're supposed to go clear.
Hang on. But because Nicholas Jackson is absolutely awful, they didn't end up being shots. Chelsea in the second half had 10 shots. Yeah? They had 10 shots in the second half, right? To our 4. We only had 2 on target. They had 6. So when Spurs fans go, oh, we nearly got something. Chelsea, for me, I'll be honest, Chelsea for me should have been 6-7-1 in front.
And what was the quality of all 6 of those shots? Were all of them one-on-one with the keeper?
But this is the point. This is what I'm saying, Will. Because of the quality of the forward they have. But if you give some...
I'm talking about the danger, right? What is the XG on all of those shots?
No. I'm not doing XGs. We're not doing that on this show. I'm not doing XGs. No.
But you're using... Hold on. You're using the number of shots on target as an indicator of how many chances they should have scored.
I was saying before. I was saying other than the shots on target, right? I don't care about their shots on target. My point is this. Nicholas Jackson, so many of them. It wasn't just Nicholas Jackson, by the way. Cucurella, Sterling, bad decisions when they were like 3-on-1 and 2-on-1. And you're thinking, if he just squares that, they score, but they don't do it. Better team. Hang on. A better team. A better team.
Playing a better team.
No, but that's not.
Can I ask you a question? Let's say the score is 1-1 with 45 minutes to go, but the opposition, they had Saka, Jesus, Haaland, and another wide player. Do you think we would have done that?
Doku.
Do you think Doku? Do you think we would have done it in that situation?
Do you know what? I don't. This is one of those conversations where I don't know. Right? Listen, hear me out. This is one of them when I don't know. Because one, right? One. I get told, oh, this is Ange. This is what Ange does. Then on the other half, I get told by people, no, there's no way he would have done it for that. Even though Ange came out and said he would do it. Look, for me, was it risky? Yes. But what we can't do is be disingenuous. So when we say he got it on point, we lost 4-1. So there's two things here. Was it risky and ballsy? Yes. But did he get it right? No. That's a fact. We lost the game 4-1.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Okay. That's all I've said. That was my point this whole time.
Your point was we should have dropped deeper to make it difficult. And my counter to that is, if we do that, we can't then create something because the transition isn't there for us. The players on the pitch weren't available for the transition. That was my counter to it. So
if that was an FA Cup final, would you have wanted him to do that?
It depends who we're playing against again.
On a final and we're down, 100%. Go for the win. It's a final.
So you
a draw does us nothing in a final.
Stay in the game as long as possible, and
a draw does us nothing in a final. The goal
it does. It gets you extra time and penalties.
Of course, it does.
If you draw, if you sit there and defend for it, and you get to penalties, you're in the game at penalties.
With a penalty situation, yes, there's a different tactic.
I'd want the same if Dyer, Emerson, and Højbjerg are at the back because the inevitable is going to happen. They couldn't defend with 11 men. All the years we've had them on the pitch with 11 men.
I get that.
Wait a minute.
I think, guys, Has coming straight after me. Sorry, bro. I think, right, that what Ange says and what he does are two different things depending on the situation. Example, I think there's moments when Ange speaks and he's very genuine, he's from the heart and he means it, and fans love him for it. And I think there's other times where in the moment he's thinking, I've just got to come out with a statement just to keep this together so there's no damage inflicted on us. Against Luton Town, we were down to 10 men. He did not play that high line. He didn't do it, fact. But look who was on the pitch. Romero and Van der Ven, right? And Udogie. This time round, I think, and again, I don't know for a fact, I think he's looked at it and said, I don't have Romero, I don't have Udogie, I don't have Van der Ven. My God, I've got a bunch of shit bricks on the pitch. And I've taken off my pace. And on top of that, they're not that good at finishing.
I've never seen a manager do this before.
So when exactly, Savva, it was unique. And after the game, when he said
unique doesn't make
I'd still do that. I'd still do that.
Unique
doesn't make it bad either.
Right. It does make it bad. We lost 4-1.
Okay, so
yes,
Manchester United lost 4-2 doing a low block after going down to men. Does that make that bad?
When we took off,
they were up 2-0 when it happened.
No. Still, you're about to do the whole Conte thing again. This is not.
No. Forget the Conte thing. Answer the Manchester United. Manchester United were up 2-0. They go down to man and they sit in a low block for the rest of the game. They lose 4-2. Was that a good idea or a bad idea?
They lost 4-3.
It was
4-3. Okay.
They lost 4-3.
They went 3-2. They went 3-2 up.
Then they lost.
But what did Man United do? Yes, but if you watch the game, if you watch the Man United game yesterday, they made Copenhagen have to come and break them down with chance after chance after chance.
And they
lost.
So was it the good thing?
It took too late. It took too late goals. But can I just go back to a point I made at the beginning? And Stel, the point. No, but I want to make this. But Stel, you're a big advocate. You think Mikel Arteta is an awful manager. You would be.
I don't think he's awful.
But I don't think he's a great manager in the sense. But if Mikel Arteta had done that, I know full damn well on your community page you'll be going, this manager's clueless. He sat on the halfway line. They got back to 4-1. You would have done exactly that.
Yeah,
and
because I wind them up, Perchy.
We cannot be disingenuous.
No, Perchy. I wind up Arsenal fans. I'm shameless. I wind up Arsenal fans.
I know you do.
I think Arteta's done a really good job.
You would have sat there and gone, do you know what? He did the right thing there. You wouldn't have done. You'd have gone, he's an absolute maniac.
No, I wouldn't have done that. Not if I looked at it and analyzed what they're doing.
Hang on. If Arteta had no Saliba, no Timber, no Ben White, no Gabriel, none of these
still say it.
We
all say it. We all would say it.
Can I just want to make two quick points. I want to make two quick points, right? I want to make two quick points. First of all, what cracks me up more than anything is everyone defending this. I've never seen a manager go this kamikaze before. That's my problem with it. I've never seen anyone go down to 9, go that kamikaze, and then everyone defend it, right? But I really need to dispel this myth, right? This myth, things like this, right? I'll tell you what. First of all, it wasn't just Savva and Perchy that wanted attacking football, right? Most Tottenham fans wanted attacking football. And just because I wanted attacking football doesn't mean that I think when we're down to 9 men, we should go kamikaze. Secondly, this is what I find absolutely, I can't stand it when people say this sort of thing. I'm going to find it, right? I'm going to find it. Where is it? This is what I can't stand, when people don't use critical thinking. I'm sorry. People going back on what they preached. If you want attacking football, there it is. That, I'm sorry, no. Just because as a football fan, you want to see attacking football as an overall ethos and style from a manager, doesn't mean that I then, as the same fan, want my manager, when we're down to 9 men, to go kamikaze, brave, whatever you want to call it, brave, admirable, attacking, ballsy. They're two very different things. Stel, Will, surely you could see that's two very
100%.
different
Savva's right
things,
here.
isn't it?
It's not.
That's
It's not it's not a
ridiculous.
contradiction because it's not in the same time or in the same sense, right?
ridiculous.
Savva can want attacking football at 11 men and then want people to drop back at 9 men because it's a different sense. It's a different situation.
Yeah, it's a
So
scenario,
it's
isn't it?
It's not a contradiction. Unfortunately, in 2023, people don't use critical thinking skills, and so it does leave yourself open for this type of banter. But it's not justified because it's in a different sense, right? But
Look,
there's one
can I
last
just
thing I'd
say,
like to.
I want to say, Will, right? No, I'm sorry. I want to say, this is the thing, right? What we've got to be able to do, right? What we've got to be able to do as football fans is, and I'm seeing this with a lot of our fans at the moment, is any sort of criticism of Postecoglou is being greeted with, oh, you don't understand Ange. You want Ange out. Not at all. I would have done this if it was Conte. You know I would. You've streamed with me long enough. I would have done this if this was Mason, Conte, Poch. Managers are allowed to be criticised. Whether we agree or not is different. But I don't like this notion from so many fans now that I wake up every day. I'm an Australian. You don't know Ange. We do. Stop with that. It's nothing to do with that. I don't care if he's Australian. I don't care if he's Zimbabwean, Japanese, English, French. I don't care. I just didn't particularly like that one tactic, not his overall tactics, which I love. And I've gone on record and said, I love the way he's trying to implement.
Yeah, we all
our play.
criticized him after the Fulham draw, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the thing. So people need to stop doing that whole, oh, you wanted to attack in football, so just agree with this. Like, whoa, that's madness. You know?
whoa, Australian Gooner, don't get over your skis now.
Yeah, but
No,
Savva,
Danny, this isn't. No, Danny. No, this isn't opinion end of. You can't say, I'm sorry, you can't say because I wanted an attacking manager that when we're down to 9 men, I want that manager to do what he did.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
not
straw man argument. Savva's never made that claim.
They're
Right.
two very different
Yeah.
things, Dan.
It's an easy
and
thing
this-
to note down.
This whole just attack on all costs. I'm gonna warn you. When it comes to winning things, there will be situations like this where Klopp, Pep, winning managers, Ancelotti wouldn't do these things. So that's
They
my
may
point
not
on
have
it.
even thought about it. And this is one thing I want to bring
Sure.
up that a lot of people
Sure.
thought of. And I think that there's a lot of managers that watched what Postecoglou did and are now going, right? Because you see Liverpool, when they drop down to 10 men, they play with a high line all the time. They still come up, they still press, they still play on the halfway line. When they went to 9, they dropped back. But at 10 men, they pressed us from half field, right? In that particular scenario. Postecoglou did it a little bit weirder. And the reason why I think teams do that is because the halfway line, for people that know, when you start a run of play, when they're in their own half, they're not offside. When they're in our half, they are offside. So when you're playing that offside trap, right? Anybody who's played against a hard offside trap knows that they are difficult to time. It's not easy. It's a difficult thing to time if the line is very disciplined. And if you're pressing the midfielders who are trying to break that midfield line, because you saw Chelsea, they had 4 or 5 attackers right on that halfway line, along with our 4 or 5 defenders that we had on the halfway line, and it made one big long line of mess. Then they had 2 or 3 midfielders. Where we lost it was in the 93rd minute when Oliver Skipp stopped pressing those midfielders and allowed them time to pick out passes, is where they got through us in all of those different occasions, right? if he were to continue to press them, it would have forced them to not play those balls into the channels and actually played that ball into the middle and let people run in onto it. Because Vicario knows. So what it does is the same reason why people line up onto the 18-yard box in that low block, tight, compact, just to compact space. And you can either compact space on the 6-yard box or you can compact space on the half-field line, but you can't do it in the midfield block because it allows them too much space to work in, and it causes Vicario to run too far. He doesn't have enough space to sweep because they're too close to the goal when those balls get in behind the line. The high line allows Vicario to sweep because it's not as dangerous 30, 40 yards out as it is 10 yards, 15 yards out.
I hear you. I think we should move. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I just want to finish on one point here. And I think the one thing here is we can debate on if we think it was right or wrong. I think we can all collectively agree, though, the hard work from, I think, even the likes of Emerson Royale, Højbjerg, Dyer, all these work their backside off in the second half. So if people think that when people criticize, no, I think me and Savva have a slightly different view, has to a certain degree as well, have a slightly different view on it. But I think the one thing we can't discredit is the hard work a lot of those 9 players did in that second half. They were brilliant.
As I said, my issue in this game, and we're going to talk about Wolves, and I'm going to start with Has. My issue with this game was not the players in the second half other than Udogie. It wasn't. Listen, it doesn't matter whether I rate them or not. I thought all of them put in a shift. There's no doubt about that. I do need to get some super chat. I've got to get some. We've got to move on.
Can I just reply to one comment that was directed to Will and I, right? Tommy G in the comment saying Stelios and Will up Ange's backside.
Smells good like flowers.
Smells good like flowers.
But can I just say that again? It's a disingenuous comment. When Spurs lost in the Carabao Cup because Ange made 9 changes, both Will and I 100% blamed Ange. We put all of that on Ange.
All of the 100% of the blame on Ange, not even on the player.
On this occasion, we're defending him, right? So we're not up his ass.
It's risky. I wouldn't have done it. I think it's risky. I wouldn't have done it personally. Yeah. I'm just saying what I see tactically in it that makes sense to me. The logic of the tactic.
I get that. Yeah. And that's why I wanted us to have this conversation. Make it. Yeah. That's why, like when Stel and I had this conversation on a video yesterday, I liked it. I don't agree with Stel on this, but I liked his explanation of X, Y, Z. You know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is, and the game has happened. But what we can't do, and I know, listen, as I said, like, you know, my mate Paul's back in the chat, like talking about, Ange did this in the J League down to 10 men, and then I get it, but I'm keeping my feet on the ground. Like, I just hear Ange the winner. Cool. He's a winner when he wins. He'll be a winner when he wins something with Tottenham Hotspur. For me, does that make sense? Like, it's all well and good us talking about managers that have won things, but we've been here before, not with this style of play. We've been here with Conte. We've been here with Jose. Let's let Ange be a winner for us before we start putting him on this pedestal that people want to put him on. And guys, you all know me. I do that with every player and every manager.
Savva, if Ange does what he did against Chelsea again and again and again and again, and the same outcome keeps happening, or the same outcome looks like it's going to happen, I will call him out saying, yo, this really doesn't fucking work. What are you doing? Right?
Well, let's move on. I want to do some super chats, and Has, I'm coming to you. We're going to talk Wolves. Big up Matt Coppin. Thank you so much. It said Van der Ven over both Saliba and Romero, which is interesting. I mean, that's I'm glad Will's popped away for a second there. But listen, thank you. Oh, he's still there. Look, big up. That's a debate for another time. We won't go back into Saliba, Romero, and Van der Ven, but big up and thank you very much for your generosity. Judge Mo, everybody, if you haven't, please go over and subscribe to Footy Judge Mo. Great content creator. He knows just how to rattle his guests enough. We know your game, Mo. And Mo will be myself and Perchy.
I'll be on his show later tonight, 8 p.m. US time. So
there you go. Go and watch Judge Mo's show at 8 p.m. US time. I don't know what time that is here.
Eastern 1.
Okay, 1. Well, if you're up at 1 o'clock, I'll probably be up. Why people can't accept that this was very risky. Judge Mo, I do. I think everyone accepts it was risky. Some on this panel are just more adverse to wanting that risk, and others are happy for that risk to take place. And so it is what it is. But thank you, Mo. Really appreciate that. And then Jerome has come in and said it was a very risky move, but it almost paid off. Yeah, we rattled them until the 92nd minute. Those players are not stupid. That's because they have belief in the manager and themselves. Listen, I really appreciate the super chat. we'll have our own definitions on what it nearly paid off means. At 4-1, I don't feel that constitutes as it nearly paid off. But if you do, then absolutely. Has, listen, loving the show so far. If you are, please smash the like button. Listen, you got 4 very passionate Spurs fans. That's all it is. Everyone's friends. It's cool. Has, Tottenham Hotspur play Wolves on Saturday. We have no Udogie, no Van der Ven, no Romero. Everyone's waiting to hear about Maddison, so I assume that he's okay. But we've got no Ben Davies as well, as far as I understand. No Ryan Sessegnon. We've got Ashley Phillips was pulled out of the under-21s, which we're all assuming that means he's going to play. Twofold. Who plays in defence against Wolves? And I want to caveat that, to tag on to that with, depending on who that back two is, does that depend on how we play again? I.e., can we play the way we normally play with Van der Ven and Romero if both the centre-halves, for example, are Davis and Dyer or Dyer and Royale? Can we still have that recovery pace on the back? So I'm interested to know what your thoughts are on all of that.
So first of all, loads of injuries. For me, Dyer's got to play. He's the only experienced centre-back, whether we like it or not. He's the only experienced centre-back we've got at the club that's fit and healthy and ready to play at the moment. That's a fact. The 2 inexperienced ones, Dorrington and Phillips, you can't play them both together. Someone mentioned earlier on today they'd rather have those 2 start. I wouldn't. It has to be Dyer, and for me, Phillips has to come in as well. He's got some sort of first-team experience, having played at Blackburn. So for me, that's more than enough. I'll take him right now. And for me, it's a good opportunity for him to sort of take his chance and show us what he's got. As an 18, 19-year-old, he'll be buzzing right now. He'll be buzzing because, someone would have said to him, look, you might be playing in the first team this week. I know if I was 18, 19 and at Tottenham and someone said to me, I'm going to be starting for the first team, I'd be wanting to do everything I can to make sure I take the opportunity with both hands. In terms of how we're going to play, well, everyone seemed to agree with the high line on Monday. And everyone sort of said with the players that we had on the pitch, we couldn't play a low block or we couldn't sit a little bit deeper because they would have killed us with the crossing and everything else. So one must assume that he's going to continue playing the high line with whoever he puts out. So that's what I'm going with. I think he'll continue to play how he's going to play. He made a statement after the game against Chelsea and said that this will be the way he's going to play, whether we've got 5, 6, 7 players. He made that very clear. So by that, I would assume that he's going to continue in the same vein. You can't play a high line with 9 men and then revert back to with like the likes of Eric Dyer and everyone else, Højbjerg and Royale, and then the very next game say, well, no, these players can't really play a high line. I'm going to play, a little bit deeper. Because if you believed in them to play that high line against Chelsea, then you got to stand by what you believe in, right? And you got to play in that same vein, right? Because now the whole narrative is, I know everyone's reciting the Bill Nicholson quote about, aiming high and failing, having aimed high and this, that, and the other. Is very clever, really, from Ange, because he's following that sort of philosophy. And he's put the whole sort of fan base on a high at the moment because they're like, well, actually, this guy has come in and he's trying to do everything he can to play the sort of football that we want to see. And we don't care if we lose. If we give it a go, then we give it a go, So it's very clever what's happening at the moment, looking at it from the outside. But against Wolves, just to round it up for you guys, I don't want to sort of waffle on too long. I'd go with Phillips and Dyer at the back. I don't like Dyer. I'll stand by that. I don't think he's a very good defender. I think he's very limited, but I will give credit to him for Monday. He come in, he put a few good tackles in, He's not going to be good in a foot race, let's be honest. But Phillips coming in, he could be the one that provides the pace in that back line because he has got pace and he's good with his feet as well. So those two have to come in for me on the weekend. I don't care that Phillips is 18 years old. He's got first team experience from the age of 17 playing for Blackburn. And I think it'll be a good step up for him. Good experience coming in against Wolves as well. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Will, look, obviously we know the way we're going to play. Looks like it's for me, I think the defense is sorted, right? It looks like it's going to be Porro, Dyer, Phillips, Royale. I think if they're the fit ones. Will Wolves fancy their chances against us, Will? I mean, I've seen Wolves fans in my chat today. There's even one in there right now saying that the high line suits them, and without the recovery of Van der Ven in there, that they're comfortable playing that way. What's your feelings, Wolves Spurs?
I mean, I think they'll fancy it. I think we have. So the key now is, especially, I think Maddison's going to be fine. I mean, we've already had him once this season walk out of a match with a boot on his ankle, and he ended up playing the next week. That's not even the case in this particular scenario. So I don't think that Maddison's going to be an issue. Maddison, Postecoglou's already said that Maddison always kind of niggles with injuries, and he never really trains every single day anyway. He hasn't done it all season. So I don't think the fact that he hasn't been in initial training sessions problematic necessarily. He could be out. I don't know.
I think he'll play. Yeah.
But I think he'll probably play. So, midfield up forward, we pretty much have our normal starting 11. It's only in the back line. Wolves has struggled to break teams down. Neto's out. He's really been their main kind of creator force this season. So that's really going to kind of, hold them to struggle, especially if we're going to be pressing them high from the front. So the great thing about the Postecoglou system is we defend from the front. So most of our defensive work is done by our attacking three in our midfield. And it's only when we get into sticky situations that the back line really has to come into things. It just means that everybody's going to have to step up. The midfield and Bissouma's going to have a great game. All of those things are going to have to happen. I think we have enough to beat them. And Postecoglou's even said himself that our attack this year, we haven't been as clinical as we need to be. We didn't really get to see that against Chelsea because Brendan Johnson comes off after 30 minutes because of the Romero red card. So I think we'll be fine. Will we concede? Probably. But all we have to do is score 2 or 3, and I think we win that game. So regardless of how up for it Wolves are, I don't think that they have the goal scoring capability to outscore us if we finish our chances. So they're gonna have to defend their asses off.
I mean, Perchy, I think Stel and I had this chat yesterday on a video that it looks like if Maddison plays, then the midfield and the forward line is the midfield and the forward line that's normal. So it is purely just the back four that is very different. Does our midfield and forward line outweigh the deficiencies at the back against Wolves? I'm purely talking against Wolves. I'm not talking Villa. I'm not talking Man City. Against Wolves, without Neto, they still got Cunha. They still got Hwang. They still got who's the other really quick guy I saw destroy Liverpool on the wing?
Bellegarde.
Do we outweigh that with our attack?
I think we do. I think we've got a better midfield plus attack in balance to theirs. I think they're a little bit toothless when Neto's not playing. I think he's there. I know they don't play the same position, but he's there, James Maddison. He's the one that gets it all ticking for Wolves. I like Cunha. I think he's a good player. I just don't think he scores enough. But listen, I think it's, in air quotes, the test, right? That everyone we've all been sort of fearing, and it was always going to happen at some point. Now we've got to do it. Get on with it. Listen, there's worry about game. That's why I always have stood by my morals in the sense of it's game by game. I'll worry about each game as it comes. Worry about this one. I think we'll be fine. I think we beat Wolves. I think we win 2-1. But listen, I think defensively, I think it's a good one to see how Ashley Phillips does. I think this is going to be the sink or swim moment for this kid because he could come in. By the way, we've not. I don't think enough of us have seen enough of a statement of this lad to see what he's like. He could come in, by the way, and we all go, "Oh my god, this guy's incredible." Well, he's 18. This kid is unbelievable. And then you go, "Okay, here we go." But what you don't want is this lad getting swamped. I think Eric Dyer is going to start. I think it'll be crazy to play two youngsters. I think I heard someone mentioned on here about Dorrington. If you play two academy lads, I think that'd be crazy. Whether we like it or not, Eric Dyer plays. I think, do you know what the one thing for me will be the question mark? Is Porro fit? Is Porro going to play? Because what worries me then, if Porro can't play, we haven't got a left back because obviously Royale would end up playing a left back. We haven't got a left back otherwise because Royale would end up going in a right back, and all three of our left backs are injured. That is the worry then.
Yeah. I mean, Stel, one of the things I'll look at, and first of all, before they do that, thank you very much. Keep smashing the like button. We've just had a few subscribers. Listen, I'll shamelessly say I did set out a target to get to 11,715. We're 9 away from that. If 9 people would be so kind to subscribe, the link is in the chat. Please subscribe to our wonderful guests, Tottenham Away and Southview Coys. Please do that. And here is the link. Stel, one of the things that's quite interesting, and Ryan Griffiths, always in the chat, big up Ryan, is a Wolves fan. And he said that in their last 3 at home, they've not lost to City, Villa and Newcastle. Now, that's not bad, right? I mean, that's 3 of the top, what Newcastle now, top 6 or top 7 that have not managed to go to Wolves and win. Is that a worry for us? I mean, is this more a fact about them being a hard-working team rather than a worrying team?
I think Wolves this year have been better than what their results have shown. Against Man United, first game of the season, they should have won. They should have at least got a draw at Old Trafford. I've watched games this year where Wolves have been really, really good to watch. Very creative side. I think
that was VAR against United. VAR robbed them against United as well.
With the Onana scissor hands, wasn't it? Yeah. I think the manager who's at Wolves, he did a fantastic job with Bournemouth last year. I mean, he came to White Hart Lane and did a number on us 3-2 last season. He's tactically astute and he's a good coach. So I don't think this is going to be by any means an easy day. I think this is a very tough game for us all of a sudden. I thought it was a tough game before the injuries. Now you make Wolves the favourite. I think Wolves are favourite going into this game. In terms of the defensive situation, for me, I think Spurs have got to have a long look at whether it's worth either bringing back Reguilón or Jed Spence from loan, tearing up or paying off the loan contract. Whatever the rules are on this, I'm not.
Tanganga as well out on loan as well.
But I think we need cover in the wide areas because Porro looked absolutely it looks to me like he's carrying a niggle. The last 2 games I've watched him, and there's no cover in the wing back areas. You know, Sessions injured, Ben Davies is injured, Udogie's out now. Emerson and Porro both on the pitch. Last time we're talking about, remember Brentford? Those balls over in the wing back areas every time Brentford got in. Yeah. I fear that now. So I think we really got to look at either bringing Reggie or Spence as an additional option. Both of them have got experience at a high level. Jed Spence played quite a few games in FA Cup games against Premier League opposition. Reguilón's playing in the Premier League now. I'm not as worried about Phillips, and I'll tell you why. I think he'll be nervous because it's a big moment for him and a lot of pressure suddenly this isn't the way you want to introduce a player. By the way, can you just take over from Romero and Van der Ven? It's like, oh my God. The good thing is that our academy, the way it's set up now, plays the same as the first team. So he's not coming into a system that he's got to just suddenly adjust to. He's been doing this in the under-21s, right? Our under-21s, 18s, 16s, all the way down to the under-14s play the same way. So he will have an idea. Otherwise, there's no way Andrew would have brought him in. He's brought him in for a reason. Yeah.
Have you seen the video of him? Have you seen any footage of him still? No. Now, I know it's difficult to all go off YouTube footage, but
watch our review video. Me and Ashmatic did a review on him.
And this is why I was saying technically, so he's really good on the ball technically, really good feet, and he's got pace. He's a strong lad. He's a big strapping lad, 6'4". I don't know if you can go back after this, Stel. I can happily send you the link for the review that we did.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
He looks a great prospect, though.
The only concern here is, I've always said this: making the jump from youth to adult football is completely different. He's had a taste of it at Blackburn, but this is the big stage.
Yeah.
My worry is he doesn't make 2 howlers and costs us, and that's it. We write him off because chances are he might make a mistake in this game. It's a lot of pressure and away from home, so you haven't even got the home fans to back you. So I agree with Has. Dyer has to start because he's the only experienced centre back at the club right now. We don't have anyone else. So I'm worried about the defence, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think we're going to sit on the halfway line. I don't think we're going to be high up like you saw against Chelsea. We won't.
I hope not.
We'll be a little bit more pragmatic. Look, Will's right. Most of our defending is done by the front three and the midfielders anyway, right? So when we're pushing up high, they will go to the halfway line. But it's not the same as halfway 9 men. It's halfway 11 men. Will Wolves get in behind us? Yes, they will. So we just need to make sure we score more. I know it's obvious, but we really do need to score more than what they create because they're going to create a fair bit in this game. So
I agree.
I'm worried, man. I'm not going to lie. This is not easy for Spurs, and it's only going to get harder after this. The next 2 games are even harder.
Well, listen, we've got 4 minutes of the show left. We've got 4 minutes of the show left. And the last bit I want to talk about, first of all, thank you, Lee Gunner, for sending over people from Lee Reacts from his West Ham watch-along. I always knew Lee Gunner was a secret West Ham fan. Thank you to everyone that has liked, has subscribed. Thank you. We're only 4 away from our target for tonight. So if 4 more people could subscribe, that would be amazing. Just quickly, guys, and I know Will's got to jump in a minute. So if this goes slightly over, he can jump. And Will, if you do just leave in the middle, I won't be offended. Right. Just go. Yeah. Guys, the last question I wanted to ask about, but I don't want to spend ages on this, is it was Perchy and I were talking about how to word this, so much so that my technology brain fart today meant that I put a full stop and a question mark. I mean, I was just having an absolute nightmare with technology today. It was, should Spurs fans reevaluate their expectations after the Chelsea game? Now, before anyone goes mad at us, we're not saying, oh my God, 1 defeat and everything changes. But obviously there was a lot of talk about, if we can keep everyone fit, if we can get through without suspensions. And obviously now that's gone in 1 game. In 45 minutes of football, suspensions, injuries, it's all changed. So we were wondering, what does this now mean for Spurs in the immediate run-up? We know that Mickey van der Ven is out until January at the earliest. So he misses 9 games minimum. He's going to miss 9 games. Romero's missing the next 3. And the next 3 aren't easy. Wolves away, Villa at home. I think we would have had the... I'll start with you, Will. I think we would have had the advantage over Villa with our normal back 4. Now I'm really worried about their front 3 and their pace and that kind of stuff. Then we've got Man City. Then we've got that 6 games in about 22 days in December. Have things changed purely off the back of the suspension and injuries from one London derby?
It just depends, I guess, on what your expectations were, right? If you expected us to go undefeated, then obviously they have to change. Those weren't my expectations. My expectations for us to finish 3rd. This season, after the first half of the season. So we're still 2 points clear of everybody else below us. Even if we lose, 1 or 2 games, it's maybe going to put us 3 to 4 points back. So I'm not really super concerned about it. And Villa as well. Villa has been amazing at home and not so great away. They just lost 2-0 to Nottingham Forest this past week, for example. So the fact that they're coming to our stadium is makes it less as a threat and or a worry, I think. Look, we'll just have to see, man. These guys are going to have to step up, right? We know Eric Dyer, when he's given responsibility over time, he's going to make a ton of mistakes. But he does have purple patches, right? His first season under Conte, for example, was a purple patch for him. And so we're just going to have to hope and pray to whatever God that you believe in, or the spaghetti monster if you don't, that these guys step it up. You know what I mean? It's going to be that's just what we're gonna have to deal with. And then, you know, if we can make it until Romero gets back from suspension, that's gonna take the ease. Obviously, Udogie will be back for that Villa game, so that's going to help. And or, you know, look, we spent a significant amount of money on this Ashley Phillips kid, and he is big. I saw him walking through training videos on the Spurs Twitter earlier today, and he's bigger than probably 60-70% of the squad and just stature alone. So I mean, he's a beast of a young lad, and if he's good on the ball, if he's got the technical skills, he should be able to fit right into this system. But we'll just have to wait and see. It's an unknown quantity.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And listen, if you need to jump, I'm literally just going to finish off asking the others their thoughts on this, and then we're going to wrap up the show. But thanks, Will. Thanks for tonight, as always. Great debates. We didn't agree on much, as always, but it's always good fun. So thank you very much.
Always a good deal. Thank you, guys. I got honeydews to do before she has to leave in 45 minutes. So
enjoy. And get it. If you want to see Will, get over and watch him at 1 a.m. on Judge Mo's channel. So jump over to there. All right. Perfect. Stel, I'll come to you. Look, what's going on? There we go. Perchy's got it under control. I wouldn't have been able to do that. It would have taken me an hour. Stel, Will is right in terms of it depends what your expectations were. I said on this show last week, and I've said all season, for me, I'm always concerned because 3 games in football for me are the difference between winning things and not. Now, I think I've gone on record and said I don't think we're going to win it, so I'm not talking about that. But this next 3 games is massive because this next 3 games, you're either level on points with Man City, who you assume are going to take 6 to 9 points because that's what they do, or whether you're 9 to 10 points behind them. And that's the difference in 3 games in football. And that's the difference between title challenges and keeping the pace. What are your expectations? Let's start with the next 3 games still. Wolves, Villa and Man City. What are your expectations realistically?
I'm with Perchy, game at a time. Look, City loss. I don't see us getting anything there now. Not with these defenders. We'd have to put in one hell of a performance and they'd have to have a stinker. It'd have to be like that time we beat them 2-0 when Son and I think Ndombele, the Stevie Bergwijn debut day.
Bergwijn debut goal, yeah.
And Man City missed every chance they created. So, and they went down to 10 men. Zinchenko got sent off. So I think City will beat us. I think Villa at home, the best we will get from that is a draw. Villa are no joke. Yeah, Will said they're not good on the road, but our biggest problem last season, I know it's up for debate, but for me was the lack of quality defenders, wing backs, centre back, goalie. We fixed that and we've lost 3 out of the 4 in one game. 75%
of it, yeah.
So I feel,
and the one that's left, the one that is fit still, is the one who's probably the weakest defensively of all 4. And when I say probably the weakest defensively,
you're right.
He is right. He is right. So
I agree. Yeah. So I'm worried. I'm not going to lie to you. If we can get 6 out of the next 9 points, we've done really, really, really well. I think we might sneak 3, but if we lost all 3, I wouldn't be surprised. I think we've got a problem. And until we see how Ange manages this and how the players that are going to play respond, we can't really gauge it either. We fear the worst because we've been here before. But let's see what Ange does. Let's see if he can do something a bit different. In terms of expectation, I told you last week's guys that I started off the season predicting top 8. When we lost Kane, I said, right, 14th, 12th. But then the way we've started, the way things look, the way things feel, the fact that a lot of fans applauded the team after a 4-1 win, there's something there to work with, right? Whether you agree with it or not, a different conversation. Yeah. I think we will get top 4. I really do. Because when I look at our rivals for top 4, I think City and Arsenal guaranteed. Then you've got Liverpool, Brighton, Villa, Chelsea, Man United. That Chelsea team I saw play against Spurs, they are not getting top 4. I don't care.
I agree.
I don't think so.
Man United, forget Man United. Mm-hmm. They're done. Brighton, they'll have 1 or 2 really good wins and they'll lose the next 2 or 3. Europe's affecting them.
I mean, they had a good win tonight. They had a good win tonight away at Ajax, 2-0. Mm-hmm. So,
but it's not the Ajax we know. This is Ajax on the brink of relegation, Ajax, right?
listen, for sure. I mean, Brighton are a good team, but I don't think they're going to compete with us for top 4. So I agree.
Then I'm looking at Newcastle, Aston Villa, and Liverpool. Well, let's say one of them get it. there's still one more place. Let's just assume Liverpool get it, but then Liverpool tonight, they lost to Toulouse. So I just think not being in Europe is what's going to be the difference between us getting top 4 and not. And we will get players back. Romero's back in 3 games. Udogie's back in 1. We are going to buy 1 or 2 in January. My expectation for top 4 hasn't changed. No, I think we will still do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Has, I'll come to you before I finish with Perchy. Not literally. Sorry, that sounded really rude. I'm just going to finish with Perchy. He's out. Go back to your channel. Has, look, I want to understand from you how big is this? And what I mean by that is, we've all said all season, let's see how we cope with a few injuries. Let's see how we cope in December with 7 games in 28 days. And then all of a sudden, it's all happened at once. Like this is unprecedented. Like we knew we might get some injuries, but 75% of your back 4 in one game. A Bissouma, 1 yellow card away and looks a bit shy in games now because of that. Is this a huge 3 games for Spurs? Is this almost season defining, the next 3, in terms of keeping up with everyone?
Look, beginning of the season, I think we were all saying the same thing. It's a transitional season. It's a free pass for Ange. We were saying, wherever we finish. We were saying, everyone wrote us off when Harry Kane left, saying we'll finish mid-table. I think the way we started this season, we've given ourselves a great platform, and that changed expectations. Naturally, giving ourselves that platform has changed expectations. We were saying last week on the show, all the teams that have had the same amount of points as we had last week have finished in the top 3. Surely, based on that, I know we're a bit thin on the ground, but surely based off that, we can at least finish in the top 5. That has to be the expectation. Now, the next few weeks is going to be season defining in terms of how we get through those games with the amounts of injuries we've had, and potentially try not to lose any more players in the process, because we've already lost players through injuries and suspensions. We could well end up losing further players in the next 3 or 4 games or during a busy period. So it's season defining in that sense. If we can come through those games without losing any more players, I think we're back on track to finishing in that top 5, top 6, whatever it's going to be. If we lose any more players, that could be detrimental. It means we have to dip back into the January transfer market. We then have to negotiate and haggle deals. It's never easy with Tottenham, as we know, to get deals over the line. We know if we need to rely on Tottenham to buy a player in January, it usually doesn't happen until late in the window. Yeah. So
they've said today has that apparently there isn't a lot of money, and that the money made from Kane was already pre-spent.
Right.
So
they've already set their stall by saying that. They've already set their stall. So this is what I'm saying. It could turn out to be season defining in terms of if we, do incur any more injuries during the next few games, then it's bad, because we're now having to loan players rather than buy players in January. We loaned Danjuma last season, didn't even use him. And then Porro was over the line literally last day of the window. We haggled that one. So I'm hoping if we come through this, no injuries, and we start getting our players back fit and ready, then I think it's still possible that we'll get that top 5. But like you said, we're not going to do much in the transfer window. And if that is the case, we have to get through the next few games without any more injuries. But I say top 5 is achievable if we stay injury free.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Perchy, just to round it off, this weekend's going to be very interesting. We play first. It seems like it's alternating. We're first, then we're last. Now we're first again. It's a big game from the point of view that Arsenal have got Burnley at home, I believe. Is it Arsenal Burnley? Yes, I want to say Arsenal. I think Arsenal have got Burnley at home. I would fully expect them to. Oh, why can't I find? You know when you've got something all ready to go and then it just doesn't work. Told you, rubbish today. So Arsenal are home to Burnley. You would expect Arsenal to pick up all 3 points. Man United are at home to Luton. These are the games that Man U have been winning. You know, they have been poor against the better teams, but they've been winning those games. Newcastle away at Bournemouth. You'd probably expect Newcastle to win that. Villa at home to Fulham. Liverpool home to Brentford. Man City away at Chelsea. You would expect a lot of those teams to pick up points. This is where we're going to see what we're made of, right? Because a lot of those teams are going to bunch that up now. That's all going to become very bunched up. How important is Saturday for you?
I think Saturday's important because what you don't want, and I'll say this now, what you don't want is Spurs could easily, if we don't beat Wolves, we could, and we say we lose. I don't think we will, but say we do. Then you've got to play Villa. Then you've got to play Man City. Then I believe after that is West Ham
and Newcastle.
And then it's Newcastle. And you look at that run of fixtures and say...
Then Forest away.
Then Forest away, you expect to probably go and pick up some points there. But my point being is, you look at that run of games, if you don't beat Wolves, you could get... With that defence, and I caveat, because of the issues we've got at the back at the moment, we start looking, going where we're now looking. Where's our next points coming from? And you don't want to be in that situation because not only a game ago, everyone was saying we were winning the league, and this is really why I wanted this question to be put into the panel, because my expectations have always been, do you know what? I think we'll finish. I think getting back into Europe will be a result for us. Mm-hmm. Getting back in the Champions League is a success for us this season.
Yep. Agreed.
Do I think so? My expectation personally, I don't think is adjusted, but the question was mainly aimed for when people were saying, "Oh, we're going to go and win the league." Do people think that we're going to win the league now after what they saw against Chelsea? I think people need to slightly reevaluate that one and ask yourselves, do you think we can do it now deep down? But my question, and then to sort of answer your question about it, I think you have to go. And, Wolves now, for me, has become such a massive game of football. We've got to see the reaction of these players bouncing back after adversity. Everyone kept telling me, I'm hearing everyone say, we need to see how this team reacts after a bit of adversity. Well, we've had that. We lost a handful of star players through suspension and injury.
Yep.
Now you've got it now. Wolves, I don't think aren't the greatest team, but they're a good team. They play some good football. They just don't seem to find a load of goals. But this is it, right? You have to do it Saturday at 12:30.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, everybody, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed the show. Lots of proper debate. What I think tonight, everyone kept it respectful. Lots of proper debate. That's what we like. People in the chat kept it clean as well. Apart from the Hotspur hippie, for some reason, having a go. I don't know what's happened somewhere else that someone's talking about me or what. But hey, it is what it is. Stel has. Thanks so much. Always enjoy your company. Always enjoy your hat choice. And if nothing else, we get to hear Haz's talking chair. So it's always good fun. Thank you. You can find Stel and Haz at Tottenham Away. If you could please subscribe to Tottenham Away, that would be great, and get them to their next milestone. Please subscribe to Southview Coys and get them to their next milestone. And Perchy and we had a milestone for tonight. And we are 2 subscribers away from that happening. So if we could make that happen, there's 360 left in here. On your way out, please smash that button. And as I said it, here he is. I love it. I've got to love these people. They're still here. They're still living their delusional lives. We can win it. Probably not, but not impossible. I'm going to put it out there. It's impossible. Big up to absolutely everyone. Really enjoyed the show. I'll be back tomorrow. We've got a couple of videos, a couple of clips, and I've got a show with a Wolves fan who's going to give us a bit more of a lowdown onto what their team is all about. Go on, Perchy.
I was just going to say, and also just so everyone knows, is we won't have Spurs Unleashed next Thursday because Savva and I, Has as well, and Barry are over in Anfield next Thursday. So we won't have Spurs Unleashed next Thursday. So that's the one thing I wanted to say.
What are you doing in Anfield?
The Football Content Awards that we're not going to win, but we're going to get drunk at. So, you know, Yeah, but listen, we'll do some videos from there. We'll get you some clips. It'll probably be a load of nonsense. But listen, big up to everyone. Thank you very much. And as always, come on, you Spurs. Susie's offering to host next Thursday. It will be on next Thursday. Susie will be hosting.
Susie's in charge.
Big up. Take care, everyone. See you later. And come on, you Spurs.